Hello, everyone, and welcome live to 3YTV tonight's broadcast of the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series and the National Sim Racing Association. Tonight, we're at the Gateway Raceway, now known as Worldwide Technology Raceway, but it's still Gateway in most of our hearts. I'm Peter Short, and joining me alongside for all the action here tonight is not Andre Graham-Bush. He's feeling a little bit under the weather, with Garrett Gleason, who's also feeling under the weather here tonight. But Garrett, great to have you up here in the booth here tonight. Going to be a fun race, I do believe.
Peter, it's a pleasure to be back, and I appreciate Stay Tuned Sports and the National Sim Racing Association for giving me the opportunity. And Peter, a lot has happened since I've been in the NSRA booth. Tristan Maher is winning races. We have a great points battle. I can't wait. We had a week off last week, and I'm excited to get back to racing. You want to fill me in on anything in particular?
Well, yeah, Tristan Maher, that number 17 Eclipse Photography Ford F-150 right there is your points leader, folks, here in the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series. Got that win 2 weeks ago on the road course at Knock Hill from the pole, and he's trying to back that up here tonight at a very tricky oval. This racetrack is very unique, very flat through turns number 3 and 4. You see it right there, very open corner as well, not a very tight radius. But then you come down towards turn number 1 and 2. A lot more banking down here in turns number 1. A lot of speed gets carried down into turn number 1. You see a lot of drivers there running that kind of middle groove, as there's a little bit more grip in that middle groove. And I think that's where we're going to see a lot of these drivers at least favor in qualifying even and early parts of the race, but we'll see drivers migrate up and down turns number 1 and 2. Turn number 3 and 4, however, you'll see some drivers try and diamond it, but you want to be right down there next to that white line. But it is a unique racetrack. Not a lot of racetracks feature asymmetrical racetracks, and at least not to the scale that this racetrack does, as we ride on board here with our points leader and winner 2 weeks out, Tristan Maher, as he heads down the backstretch here. Watch out for that wall opening there on your right-hand side, Garrett. We've seen a couple of drivers hit that wall opening over the years. In fact, we've seen a couple of drivers hit it not only in real life, but we've seen drivers hit it in sim racing, just kind of not paying attention, Garrett. That's something I've seen even under caution, that that wall can come out and bite people.
Peter, I don't have much racing experience here, but that wall definitely can come out and grab you. It's something to keep an eye on. These drivers are going to have to be mindful of. I hope they all got enough practice laps. I think pit road here is a little tricky as well, just because of the angle. And brake bias should be the name of the game. I think we're going to see a lot of adjustments out there. So a lot to keep an eye on. And like you said, you're going to see guys taking different entries and exit points in all these corners, some low, some diamonding. It's going to be a fun race.
Tristan Maher was able to jump up to third on the board there just before the end of practice. But it was Tesoro, Julian and Dominic Tesoro, fastest of all, first and second. What can they do here in the qualifying for tonight's 130-mile event? Just going to check out the chat just before we get these trucks out there on the racetrack. Garrett, you're the first one in the chat here tonight. And we have enabled subscriber-only chat. So if you are in the chat here tonight and you want to chat, and you can't because you're not a subscriber, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and we'll be able to chat. We've had some spam bots over the past couple of months here jumping into the channel. We're trying to avoid those spam bots with those not so PG links that they like to spam. But hopefully we can avoid those. We were trying to remove those links as quick as we can. But hey, if they can't even post a link, then that's even better, as we got race trucks out here on the racetrack. Here's the number 51 machine out there right now. That is driven by Adam Lichty as he heads down the backstretch, and his paint scheme here will be loading in shortly. Sorry about that, Adam. Sporting an iRacing Toyota truck, but it will change here to a white truck in just a moment, as the broadcaster forgot. Hey, you got to turn on trading paints here to pick up all of the paint schemes, and there are a lot of good paint schemes here in the National Sim Racing Association that these drivers like to sport, as the number 51 of Adam Lichty, currently fastest of all. There's that paint scheme, that Harpoon Designs number 51, jumping on a good-looking yellow scheme. Kind of reminds me of the taxi cab. Maybe we can call Adam Lichty the taxi cab driver, G.
I really like that paint scheme, and Harpoon, we've seen on Josh Sobel's paint schemes in the past, and always good-looking rides. And Peter, with the price of gas nowadays, I don't even know if taxis could stay in business. So if Adam Lichty could use that to his advantage to keep racing, I'm for it.
Comes around out of the final corner and going to put in his second lap time. A little bit slower on lap number 2 for Adam Lichty. He's going to still stay top of the board. However, no one able to beat him. Jeff Price currently second fastest, and third is currently held by Tyler Bellinger in the number 21 machine, a rookie here in the National Sim Racing Association Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series. But the Back Channel Productions number 14 coming to the line here to complete his second lap time. We'll see what he can do, see if he can pick it up. He's unable to, but we have a new driver atop the board. This is no big surprise to anyone. The number 30, Julian Tesoro, fastest of all in practice, that wrapped up just about 3 minutes ago. The number 30, top of the board, Tristan Maher, our points leader now, jumping to the top of the board. And Garrett, we saw a great battle between Tristan Maher and Julian Tesoro at Knock Hill. Those two went toe-to-toe for a majority of the race. Both finished on the podium, trying to carry that momentum into this tricky oval here tonight, as Tesoro going to pull off his machine. There's number 25, however, out there on the racetrack right now, driven by Randy Perdue, coming off of turn number 2 down onto the backstretch. Keeping it nice and straight. Stan Houseman, the BeerStreetJournal.com number 39 machine. We had Beer Street Journal in the chat for our last race at Knott Hill. It's great to see Beer Street Journal joining us here on YouTube as we paid tribute to one of Stan's friends and also a friend of Beer Street Journal who recently passed away in our last race at Knock Hill. Currently Stan Houseman sitting well down the order in the 13th position as he comes across the line right now. He will stay in the 15th position. So tough break for Stan. He's going to have to pick up quite a few positions here. And we finally drop the green flag a little bit later. There's the number 5 machine. That is driven by Matt Cherry, also well down the leaderboard here. Garrett, don't expect Matt Cherry to start outside the top 10, but that's currently where he's sitting on the board. He's right now 13th.
Matt Cherry's one of those guys, Peter, that I was just going to say, he's always sideways every time we put the camera on, and it looks like this qualifying effort's no different. But I expect this track to play to his strengths a little bit. He's going to be able to get that truck turned when other guys might struggle a little bit, Peter. And even if he starts in 15th, I think he'll work his way forward.
Yeah, let's see if we can see real fast what happened to the number 5 machine here of Matt Cherry as he goes off into turn number 3 right there. Just gets loose and goes off into the grass. So a little bit of a tough break there for him. And looks like our live timing and scoring appears to maybe be completely broken. There's some racetracks that our live timing and scoring just does not like. And it might be that this is one of them. So let's cycle through. Hopefully maybe that will fix things here for the race. But it's not even giving me any top 5 drivers up at the top of the screen. So I'm not 100% sure here what's up with it. We'll see if maybe I can figure it out. Maybe it's coming back to life now.
Maybe Jimbo's on the pole and they don't want to show it. Is that possible, Peter?
Maybe that's it. Let's see. Let's get rid of. Gotta get rid of that qualifying. Oh, there it is. Finally found it. That should. Oh, it's decided that it wants to even stay up now. So let me see if I can reboot the live timing and scoring software and see if that will fix it here. Of course, we need to bring that up here shortly. We'll recycle it here. Tyler Bellinger in the chat. Tristan Meyer saying, what up? How's it going, guys? Hopefully have put on a good race here tonight. So let's see if we can jump to live. And our live timing and scoring has just decided to be completely broken this week, Garrett. That's always a lot of fun when that happens. You see the iRacing pace car driver or flagman there on screen. I'm clicking every single button here, Garrett, and it ain't doing nothing.
Well, it looks like we have Philip Scott starting there in third position. Didn't see him jump up our broken timing and scoring. I believe that's Jeff Price, also in the second row. Some fast trucks. We would have gave you guys some love had we been able to tell what type of lap you were on.
Well, let's see. Let me just close out of it entirely. And sometimes it's worth recycling it in OBS as well. Is the software we use for the broadcast here. If we can get at least the drivers rolling out there. There is Julian Tesoro, who starts on the Poultice and Maher alongside Philip Scott, third in points, and starting third here tonight, number 14, Jeff Price, Philip Scott, Adam Lichty. Behind them, Randy Perdue on the inside, right behind Tyler Bellinger. Nate Maurer, Adam Newton will make up row number 5. Travis White, Dominic Tesoro, number 6. Vincent Valvano, Garrett Austin will be on the outside, starting 14th. Matt Cherry, Stan Hausman a little bit further back. And we got Jimbo and Doug Milner rounding out our field. Man, Garrett, this live timing and scoring is it is not doing too good here tonight. So I'm going to see if I can maybe get it to refresh for everyone back at home.
Peter, we don't need that. Come on, that's a crutch. We'll just do it live, like as one person said once. I won't use the expletives that he used, but we'll just do it live, guys. You guys are with us, and Peter's such a pro. I'm sure he doesn't need any timing and scoring, but it might be easier for everyone watching on YouTube. And uh-oh, there it is, Peter. It's back. Let's see if our intervals work as we're getting ready to go green. Tesoro's leading us off.
Yeah, looks like it's gonna work here. Just had to refresh it as Julian Tesoro heads down towards turn number 1 in the number 30 Toyota Tundra. Right now is your race leader, number 17, number 99, side by side. That's Maher and Philip Scott. They're going to be right in front of Jeff Price and Adam Lichty, who's also side by side. Some good racing here mid-pack already as these drivers start to jostle for position. Not seeing any gaps, any intervals, unfortunately, between these drivers. Maybe, oh, there we go. Now it comes up as these drivers work their way onto the front stretch. It'll be Julian Tesoro and Tristan Maher finally clearing Philip Scott. Now the battle's behind them for 4th between Jeff Price and Adam Lichty.
Watching these drivers, Peter, taking 2 different lines. We saw the 17 of Maher reign supreme over the 99 there briefly, and now I'm watching to see if Jeff Price can make that bottom work here. Something to keep an eye on, especially on fresh tires early on in the race. See if that groove's going to be there later when you need to make that clutch pass.
Yeah, so finally able to get everything squared away here. Maybe trying to get It's been 2 weeks since we last broadcasted here on 3 Wide TV in the Station Sports Podcast Truck Series. Trying to get those gremlins away as Julian Tesoro throws some sparks up on entry into turn number 1 and 2. Let's check out this battle a little bit further back. This is Tyler Bellinger on the inside with what appears to be maybe a Dale Jarrett-inspired quality care throwback scheme on his Ford F-150, battling with the number 25 of Randy Perdue, who one could only think is a Dale Earnhardt-inspired throwback scheme right there on that number 25 as they go toe-to-toe. A couple of Dale throwback schemes, one with the Jarrett-inspired and one with the Earnhardt-inspired scheme, as it looks like the Earnhardt-inspired scheme will take that position and hold on to 6 for now as we're working lap number 4 of 160 here tonight. A little bit of a longer race than I think we were expecting. I think we were expecting 130 laps is what we were told, but it's going to be a little bit longer one here, folks, as we think about 3 wide further back in the pack. Vincent Valvano going all the way down to the bump side of the racetrack. Matt Cherry in the number 5 machine, those side by side with Travis White in that number 23 above him. Meanwhile, back behind him, Stan Hausman trying to go on the high side around Vincent Valvano, and Garrett Austin lurking in the background. Right there on your screen, they get tight off into turn number 1. But as the sun sets here, Garrett, we expect to see the track temperature drop a little bit as, we got, I think that was Jimbo in the background going for a little bit of a roller coaster. Looks like he gets it squared back up and pointed in the right direction. Meanwhile, Julian Tesoro on his own island out front.
Well, Peter, I've never had a lead that big. Tesoro makes this look easy, and I know he's very fast from the races I've seen broadcasted so far this season, and it's really no surprise. I'm also not surprised to see Jimbo sideways this early on in the race, but I like to give him a little flack once in a while. But he's doing a tremendous job at getting himself acclimated to this very difficult racetrack.
Matt Cherry in that Ford F-150, that front end on the Ford F-150 is fairly flat, but it looks like he might have picked up a little bit of damage there, Garrett. It looks a little bit flatter than it should be. Not sure exactly where that might have come from, but apparently Matt Cherry, as we go 3 wide behind him, that is Garrett Austin, who was in the middle of 3 wide with Stan Houseman on the inside. Travis White on the high line in the number 23 as we're green flag through the first 6 laps down. Just 154 to go. Say that 10 times fast. As, whoa, Doug Milliner kissing the wall out of turn number 2. Already action heating up here in National Sim Racing Association. Garrett Austin getting locked up in this battle. Meanwhile, David Buell in the number 52 just got passed by Matt Cherry. So he slid back to the 12th spot. And now I think Vincent Valvano here going to try and take that 12th spot away from David Buell as they head off towards turn number 1.
Yeah, Vinny pulled out of that 3 wide battle before. I always say Vinny's like a gentleman out there. He always gives everybody room, and now he's looking to make some of those positions back up here, taking a look to the inside. Not sure he's going to be able to make the pass with that momentum that the outside lane has with the 52. And here's a battle. Nathan Maurer in the 69 truck here. They're side by side coming to the start-finish line.
And battling with the nice number 69 Toyota Tundra there of Dominic Tesoro, who was second fastest of all in our practice session that was there just before we went to the qualifying round. Dominic trying to get around Nate Maurer, unable to do so just yet. So I believe Dominic Tesoro in that number 69 machine started around the 12th position, and Tesoro starting to move up, trying to show some of that pace that he had in practice and turn that into good race pace. As he's locked in this battle here with the 971 machine, it can be really difficult to pass here at this racetrack, Garrett. Turn number 1 and 2, you can really send it into 1 and 2. There's a lot of grip there. There's a lot of banking there. You can kind of slide up the racetrack and find a little bit of extra grip up there on the top side of the racetrack. In fact, I expected to see the outside pass be prevalent in turn number 1 and 2. But where you really want to try and set up a pass here is right here, coming out of turn number 4. If you can get the power down a little bit better than the truck in front of you, you can actually set up that pass into turn number 1, send it down on the inside, use that grip level that is there, and complete that pass. So it can be difficult. You almost have to set it up the car in front of you for a pass, sometimes a full lap and a half before you actually finally complete that pass. It's Jeff Price here sending up the inside on Adam Lichty. This is currently side by side for the 4th position. Jeff Price has held that spot since the drop of the green flag, and he's starting to see Tyler Bellinger move up in his rear view mirror as well. So a little bit of pressure here for Price to hold on to this spot. Adam Lichty wants to get around the number 14 because he's starting to see some of the trucks in front of him start to disappear, because Garrett Tesoro is now up to a 2-second lead over Maher, who has about 3/4 of a second on Philip Scott, who's got about a second and a half on this battle, as Jeff Price finally able to get that 4th position, clear Adam Lichty, and that's going to bring Bellinger right up into the mix in that number 88 machine.
Yeah, Bellinger taking advantage of there. Lichty had a little bit of a mishap there racing side by side with Price. I think he sailed in a little too deep, and Jeff did what he needed to do to create the pass. He kept washing up the racetrack, hoping that 51 would lift, and he made it work. And I was watching the battle behind them. Peter Tesoro and Maurer were still going at it as they were going at it, and all these trucks are right back in the fold here, battling for a top 5 position.
Yeah, that's actually what I wanted to mention is, oh no, we got the number 6 machine, Doug Milliner, who has gone around the Folgers, the Mark Martin-inspired throwback scheme. Let's see what happened here to Milliner coming out of turn number 2, just gets loose there. Garrett loses the back end, and unfortunately that inside wall is pretty close here. Goes into the grass, and he's going to take it to the pits. Might be our first retirement of the night, unfortunately, for the number 6 machine. He's pulled it off the racetrack as well. As we look at our race leader, Julian Tesoro. Well, let's go back to that battle we were just keeping our eyes on here, Garrett, because it is a logjam here from Tyler Bellinger, Adam Lichty, Randy Perdue, Nathan Maurer, the number 69 of Dominic Tesoro. And then a little bit further back, you got the number 29 machine there of Adam Newton, just rounding out our top 10. There's the outside move, though, by the 971 and Nathan Maurer. Maybe he's listening to the broadcast, because, Garrett, that's what I said. I was surprised, or I expected to see the outside pass in turn number 1 and 2 be a thing, and that's what Nathan Maurer tried to do there. Let's see if he can pull this off here in turns number 3 and 4.
Peter, if you want to be a better race car driver, all you have to do is listen to Peter Short on 3YTV, because you'll figure it out real quick. And Nathan Maurer's doing exactly that here as he's battling side by side with the 25. And there's just nowhere for him to go there in that top lane. Unfortunately, all the momentum in the world can do you no good when there's a truck right in front of you, but he's going to pull off that pass and make his way forward as the 69 of Tesoro looks to make the same move. And wow, that was impressive, Peter.
Yeah, that number 25 of Randy Perdue got really tight there on the inside line. You saw it. He had to check up to avoid sliding into the side of the number 69. So, unfortunately, Perdue loses 2 spots and 2 laps in the number 25 machine. Maybe he can learn from what he just saw out of Nathan Maurer and Dominic Tesoro and use that a little bit later in the race, as we have worked our way through now the opening 17 laps. As we'll reset that timer up at the top of the screen so you can see where all your favorite drivers are amongst the field. And let's see, there we go. Now it's scrolling. Adam Lichty there in the 6th spot, leading this little group of drivers. Let's check on what's happening up at the front, though, as Julian Tesoro continues to pull away. Let's see if we can bring up that time delta in the bottom corner of your screen. You can see that over the last couple of laps, it's grown only a couple of tenths from about 2.2 seconds now to 2.4 seconds. So Tesoro just slowly plugging away, pulling away, just a fraction of a second every lap on Tristan Maher. Meanwhile, Tristan Maher, Philip Scott, you can see that gap hasn't really grown or closed over the last couple of laps, as Philip is staying right in the tracks of the Eclipse Photography number 17, one of the sponsors here this season in the National Sim Racing Association. Philip Scott to Jeff Price. You can see that gap is increasing just a little bit, up about 0.3 over the last 5 laps. Jeff Price to Tyler Bellinger. They've been racing a couple other drivers here recently, but that gap's staying about the same. A little bit further back, Bellinger, you can see that he's really pulling away from that number 51 machine. And then we got into that big scrum of drivers a little bit further back, led by Adam Lichty, Nathan Maurer, Dominic Tesoro, and Adam Newton just a little bit further back away. Randy Perdue, however, in the number 25 has lost another spot since we last checked in on him. Here, Garrett falling behind Adam Newton in the number 29 Budweiser Toyota.
Yeah, Perdue's been falling his way back towards the field. Looks like he has a little bit of an opening now. He could maybe figure it out. Don't know if he overused his tires trying to make some passes early on in the race. But Peter, going back to our little runs for the field there, Philip Scott, Tristan Maher, teammates, total non-stop racing. I'm wondering if they're just trying to figure it out how they're going to get to that 30 truck. Clearly, they don't have anything for him in this first run. As a race car driver, Peter, what are you doing? What are you talking to your teammates about, trying to figure out the racetrack to get to where you need to be here in first place?
No, I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be perfectly honest with you, as we got this battle going on for the 6th position. Nathan Maurer using that high line pass again. Dominic Tesoro as well, getting around Adam Lichty, so move Maurer up to 6th and Tesoro up into 7th, at least Dominic Tesoro, I should say. I wouldn't be all too concerned. If you're Philip Scott, if you're Tristan Maher, this first run, what you have to do as they go toe-to-toe for the 2nd position, but what you got to do is you got to figure out what your brake bias is going to be. What's your brake bias going to be here for tonight? What's it going to be over a long run? You might have got a long run in during practice, but it's very difficult to gauge the long run pace relative to other drivers on a long run in practice, because typically in practice you'll have people coming on and off pit road, 5 laps here, 5 laps here, and rarely do you have 2 drivers go out there both on a long run that aren't teammates, that go out onto the racetrack at the same time. So if I'm Philip Scott or I'm Tristan Maher at this point in time, I'm trying to learn what my long run pace is to Julian Tesoro out front. What can I do with my brake bias to maybe improve my long run pace? Is it going to be something that I can adjust with my brake bias knob? Am I going to be shifting? Because this racetrack, since it is so unique, one end of the racetrack so different than the other, you can actually adjust the way that you work your way around this racetrack. You can play with the brake bias on one end. You can shift on this end of the racetrack right here, shift down to third. That's always an opportunity. But if you do that, you got to be careful. You got to make sure, A, you don't blow your engine. That's thing number one. But two, sometimes it can catch you out if you're not used to doing it. So if you are trying to shift here around this place, it is something you just got to figure out. What are you going to do to improve your long run pace here? And maybe they thought about taking things easy, but even if they are taking things easy, Julian Tesoro has them covered right now. It's almost a 3-second lead now over Philip Scott. There is Julian Tesoro out there on the racetrack, but I'm in a learning period right now here, Garrett. I got to figure out what can I do over a long run to close in on that number 30. What can I adjust in the car? And really, that's only the brake bias knob that they have to adjust inside the car. Fiddle around with that. Find something that works. Maybe you've already found it, but if you think you found it, maybe try some more, because Tesoro's checking out here up to a 2.7 second lead, at least for now. Maybe he's using up his tires. Maybe the 99 Philip Scott saving his tires. Not sure, but we still have quite a long way here left to go. Over 130 laps here at the Gateway 160. Let's check out this battle. Dominic Tesoro getting a little bit slideways out of turn number 2. These two have been glued nose to tail, Garrett, for probably the last 15 laps or so. As now Adam Newton, though, is closing in on these two. Newton just got up to the 8th position not long ago, got around Adam Lichty, and props to Adam Newton because he's closing in on these two. He was a ways back, about a second behind, so he's run them down over the last 5 to 10 laps.
Yeah, the 69 Tesoro there probably didn't mind battling with the 971, but then you see Newton creep up into the picture, and it becomes a little more urgent to make that pass. But 27 laps into this run, Peter, I'm not sure what these guys have left tire-wise, because they've been slip-sliding around, making these crazy passes. We've seen 3 wide action twice in the field. There might not be much left, but it looks like the 29 of Newton is really taking good care of his tires. Seems like he's making good pace out there.
Yeah, Adam Newton has shown in the past here in the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series that he knows how to save tire, and showing that again here tonight at Worldwide Technology Raceway, formerly known as Gateway, and that's definitely what I know it as looks like there at the bottom of your screen, Jimbo has hauling 1 lap down in his Ford F-150. Of course, a rookie here in the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series, is trying to learn as much as he can week in and week out here racing in this series that he sponsors with the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. And hey, if you have not checked out the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast just yet, well, there's a link to the Podbean here in the description of this very video, and it'd be great for you to click on that Podbean and have a listen in. And they even have opportunities for you to call in, write in questions, and you can ask Jimbo about his NSRA story so far. In fact, it'd be good to check in with Jimbo at some point and hear what he has to say about his iRacing simulation career to this point. As we got this.
Peter,
go ahead.
I think he's filming. Well, he's not filming. He's recording a podcast as he's driving around the track, clearly, because Joe Girardi got fired for the Phillies today. Jimbo, big Philly sports fan. Easy for me to say. So I'm sure that's what's going on, Peter. I can't wait to tune in and hear what he has to say about that.
Yeah, of course. Girardi was former Yankees manager, and I know. We got the 5 around in the back of the screen. Caution flag is out. That is Matt Cherry, who, no surprise here, Garrett is the first driver to go around here on the front, or the back stretch, to bring out the caution. Milliner went around earlier in the race, but let's see what caught out driver of the number 5 machine here to bring out our first caution flag of the night, Garrett.
Peter, if I didn't know any better, I think he was calling into the podcast to talk about Girardi's firing here on Stay Tuned Sports. But Matt Cherry's always a driver that finds the edge of sideways, and just looks like it snaps around on corner exit there and brings out the first yellow. Not damage. Good job by him locking it down and not having any damage to any other trucks that were coming by here. We'll take another look, Peter.
You know, I wonder, you see these seams here, Garrett, the seams on the racetrack between the different grooves, they are really pronounced here at this racetrack, and I wonder if he just kind of came across and hit one of those seams. So kind of coming up, it seems like it starts to get a little bit slippery. Maybe when he came across that first seam, not 100% sure, but went around, like you said, good job getting it locked down and preventing any further damage on the number 5 machine. But caution flag is out for the first time here tonight. Let's jump back live because we've had some interesting strategy calls. Julian Tesoro in the number 30 has elected to stay out, which is a very surprising call. They don't really have tire limits here in the NSRA, so I'm just surprised that Julian Tesoro elected to stay out there. I know he's been fast here, but Garrett got 30 laps on his tires. Stan Hausman in the number 39, I believe, missed his pit stall because I'm not seeing a pit time for him. Was second truck off pit road. But then you have Tristan Maher, Jeff Price, Philip Scott up there, Tyler Bellinger, Nate Maurer, Dominic Tesoro, Adam Newton, Adam Wilkie rounding out our current top 10. Oh, here comes Julian Tesoro. I wonder if that was a gaffe there, Garrett, by the number 30. And oh, disconnection issues. I thought maybe he might have disconnected. Maybe he missed pit road entrance there first time by. I don't know.
Yeah, Peter, it's odd. Like you were saying about 32 laps on tires, I'm thinking even 32 laps on fuel. You take the opportunity to come down pit. You clearly have the best truck in the field as far as that first run went. And unless there was some sort of mishap with the pace car because he was so far out front and he didn't get the green to go on pit road, Peter, it's something we'll have to try to investigate further.
The only thing I can think of is that he just missed. Go back maybe just a little bit further here. The only thing I could think of is he just missed pit road entrance. That's really the only thing I can think of, as this is when the caution flag was out. This is when he had to peel down onto the left-hand side to use the access road. And I think he realized that they're late, Garrett. Did you see that little just move that he did? I think he just realized it late that, oh, shoot, I should have come down pit road. Let's get one more look at that. One more look at that. Oh, no, we've gone too far. We'll just do a live rewind. Watch, he's right here. Watch right now. Right now. He's like, man, we missed it. But he's going to have to start at the back here in just a moment, which is bad news for him. Meanwhile, under this caution, good news for this driver right here. That's Jimbo picking up our Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award. He gets back onto the lead lap, courtesy of our friends over at Brookstone Animal Hospital in the greater Atlanta, Georgia area, brookstonevet.com. If you're in that area and you have a animal that needs some love and care, Brookstone Animal Hospital is the place to go. Big time sponsor here in the National Sim Racing Association, and we thoroughly appreciate them sponsoring the Lucky Dog Award. As the pace truck lights are off, caution is over, no drivers out here, so I think Doug Milliner might actually be the only driver who is out here tonight in the number 6 machine. Just looking to see if he's still around. Maybe we can get a quick word with the owner of the Underwear Emporium, but does not look like Doug Milliner is in Discord at all, unfortunately. So anyhow, we're about to go back green here, Garrett. Go check out the chat real fast. The RC Plains 59 written on Philip Scott in the chat, and Johnny Williams saying hello, good luck all, and hello to you, Johnny. Hope all is well with you. I know you've had a tough go of things recently. Hopefully things are turning around and in a positive direction for you there, bud. But speaking of positive direction, green flag is back in the air. The number 17, Tristan Maher, who is our points leader. Winner last time out is your new race leader, and the Eclipse Photography number 17 clears the field as we head off towards turn number 1. Meanwhile, back behind them, they're side-by-side. Tyler Bellinger has a great view of this side-by-side battle in front of him. As Philip Scott able to pull right in front of Jeff Price and move up into second. Meanwhile, look at Dominic Tesoro here. Garrett, the number 69 machine, who started deep in the field, now inside the top 5.
Peter, all these guys are saying our fastest truck, he's towards the back. Let me get out front. Let me try to lead some laps, put some distance between myself and him. That's what these guys are doing, and the 88/21 there forced all the way up the racetrack. Just to go back to your point about Johnny. Johnny, I hope you're doing well. I see you lost a bunch of weight. I'm proud of you. Keep doing it, man. We're all looking forward to seeing you back on the track soon.
Meanwhile, Dominic Tesoro tried to do that highline pass again. I think on older tires it's doable. Not 100% sure on fresh tires, but Tristan Maher now in a battle for the race lead as the 17 and 99 go toe-to-toe. The 69 has been able to clear Jeff Price, and Tesoro wants more here, Garrett. He's going to try and use that highline pass around the number 99 of Philip Scott if he can. Now he's going to duck now to the low side to get to the inside of Tristan Maher as we're side by side for the race lead here down the backstretch. Philip Scott has it for now. The 17 of Maher wants to hold on to it. A couple of teammates battling here in turn number 3 and 4.
Great battle between the Total Nonstop Racing boys, Maher and Scott. Two different drivers. You usually see Maher a little more slow and steady. Philip Scott a little more aggressive. And the 69's in a great position there as well, Peter.
Yeah, that number 69 is in a great position. Look at these trucks racing on by, some side-by-side action a little bit further back in the pack as well between a couple of these drivers. Just checking in on the driver who dominated the opening half of this opening, maybe fourth of this race. Not even fourth of the race. We're not yet to the quarter race distance yet. We will be here in about 3 laps as Philip Scott finally clears Tristan Maher, takes the race lead. Dominic Tesoro still peeking to the inside of Maher as well in the number 69. But checking in on the other Tesoro, Julian Tesoro currently finds himself somehow, some way, 1 lap down. A long pit lane pit stop for the number 30 has put him a lap down in this race. Stan Hausman also in the number 39 machine is 1 lap down. Not sure how that happened, but currently Stan Hausman and Dominic Tesoro are together. In fact, Julian Tesoro's caution flag has come out here. I look away for 1 second, and caution flag has waved. Let's see if we can figure out what exactly happened here. Might be something to do with Randy Perdue. Oh, contact with Julian Tesoro. Perdue locks it down and does a good job of locking it down. Hopefully not a lot of damage there, but enough to bring out the caution flag. But I was going to say, Julian Tesoro, Garrett, is not just 1 lap down, he's 2 laps down.
Peter, that's blowing my mind. I mean, I was about to criticize you for calling him the other Tesoro after he led the first 30-odd laps of the race. And now he's 2 laps down in that number 30. I don't know what the story is there. I'm sure our ace pit reporter... Oh, wait, Peter, we don't have one, I guess. I guess it's all up to you.
Yeah, I don't know what'll happen there. Let's go on board here with the number 23 of Travis White. Look at this. Great job getting on the binders to avoid a spinning number 25 there of Randy Perdue. So good job there by Travis White, keeping his machine nice and clean. But let's see if we can go back live and get some live shots of what's happening out there. Good news is I think this is going to give Stan Hausman, it is, he's going to pick up the Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award. That's fairly fitting. He's one of the owners of the Brookstone Animal Hospital, as that number 39 gets himself back on to the lead lap. That puts Julian Tesoro as the only driver 1 or more laps down, sitting at 2 laps down in the number 30. The only thing I can think of maybe, Garrett, is maybe some way, somehow, Julian Tesoro got a black flag, and I really have no idea what happened there. But anyway, let's see if we can talk to Julian Tesoro. Let's see if we can find out what exactly happened to the Tesoro Motorsports driver to put himself a couple of laps down. Bring him down here into the 3 wide TV booth. Julian Tesoro, Peter Short, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, the number 30 is a hot rod here tonight, that's for sure. But currently, you find yourself 2 laps down. How did that exactly happen? Did something cause you to have to pull over and stay in the pits for an extended period of time? Or maybe did you catch a black flag or something?
Yeah, so I missed the first yellow flag pit. I got distracted by something, you know, in real life. So it just kind of messed me up. And then I guess that I was just trying to like stay behind the pit. I thought I was behind him. I was going super slow entering the pits. It kept telling me to stay behind the pace car. And I guess that I passed them, which I don't think I did, but I had them review it. They won't waive it. They didn't waive it. So I said I just passed the pace car, and it kind of just screwed me over a little bit.
Well, hopefully we can see that number 30 back on the lead lap. We know it's a fast truck here before the end of the night. Still 3/4 of the race or so left in it. Best of luck there, Julian. Good to finally know exactly what happened to you, but we'll be keeping our eyes on your uphill battle here tonight.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man.
All right, so that's what happened. Passing the pace car, and that's something that will bite you, and not a lot of leagues will clear that black flag, Garrett. And unfortunately for Julian, he's going to have to pay for that. 2 laps down, needs 2 Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Awards.
Bad break for Julian, but Peter, that's great for us from a broadcast perspective because we get to watch that 30 truck battle to get his laps back, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets one back the hard way, as we used to say, by passing the leader. You don't see that too much nowadays in NASCAR competition, but the 30 has enough speed in that truck tonight that he could definitely make that happen.
Well, you know, really what thwarts that, the getting a lap back the hard way these days, is you remember back in the day, they used to do double file restarts, but the lap cars would start on the inside, the lead lap cars would start on the outside. So it isn't like this doubling up that we do now where all of the lead lap cars start in front of the lappers. That's what they do now. So every single time we have one of these restarts, well, Tesoro and anyone else who ends up a lap down, they're going to have to start at the back of the pack. So Julian Tesoro has to race his way through the entire pack and then get to the lead, which would be extremely impressive, you know, to not wear out your tires. And that's just the nature of the game these days with the way NASCAR does restarts, as well as what we do here in the National Sim Racing Association. Pace truck on to pit road. We're going to take the green flag here on lap number 44 here tonight at Worldwide Technology Raceway, aka Gateway Raceway, as Philip Scott, your race leader, takes a commanding lead off into turn number 1, able to clear everyone else. Meanwhile, everyone else pretty much getting single file here already. Garrett, probably the calmest start of the night so far.
Yeah, Peter, 44 laps coming up to complete 44 laps there, and then these guys, I think, want to get back to some green flag racing. Had a nice 30-lap stint, and then a couple yellows there back to back. So these guys want to see who the new truck to beat is as the 30 is trapped 2 laps down.
Meanwhile, the number 69, that being Dominic Tesoro, trying to go for second here to the inside of Tristan Maher. We've been highlighting the rise through the field that the number 69 has been doing, and currently not quite able to get around the number 17. Of course, that higher line, in my opinion, is the preferred groove for turns number 1 and 2. You want to be right down there on the bottom of the racetrack for turn number 3 and 4. Typically, kind of where the whole field is here right now, but that is why Maher was able to kind of pull ahead there out of turn number 2, as he kind of had that preferred line. At least it's the preferred line in my eyes, because I've driven here before, Garrett, and I'll tell you what, that low line feels good until you realize how strong that second groove is, where every single truck put their wheels in that second groove. That last camera shot through turns number 1 and 2, that's how good it is. So we'll keep our eyes on whether or not these drivers migrate down to the bottom side of the racetrack, or whether the high line pass is the way to go here tonight. Right on the angle in chat saying I'm legally obligated to say nice to all that talk of 69. Yeah, it is a nice number, isn't it? But always rooting on Philip Scott and the number 99 Machine Rider. How's it going here tonight? Hopefully you're having a good night. Tyler Also in the chat saying, watch out for Tyler Bellinger. Bellinger is putting together a pretty solid run there in the number 88. But we have a 3-wide TV replay to check out. Garrett Austin a little bit further back in the pack, number 34 machine. No caution, we say green flag, but something here happened to his Chevy Silverado. Garrett gets a little bit loose, similar to what we saw out of the number 6 machine earlier in the night, Doug Miller, but not able to lock it down, and into the inside wall went the 34.
As someone with the first name Garrett that also struggled at this racetrack, that pains me to see Garrett Austin having that issue, but all these spins, Peter, look almost identical. You see the truck spinning on exit, locking it down, and in this case for the 34, making his way towards the inside wall. And just back to Ryder Lee Engel real quick, I thought Ryder Lee Engel was a number 99 fan. I didn't know he was such a big fan of the 69, Peter.
Well, I'll tell you what, if the number 69 Philip Scott, or if the number 99 of Philip Scott changed to the number 69, that would be a nice move in my opinion. But right now, Philip Scott is your race leader. It's nice to be up front as well as we close in on the half-century mark. Lap number 50 next time. And caution flag out. And we're hearing it might be something to do with Matt Cherry, but Adam Lichty might have also been involved. What happened here with the number 5 machine? We've already seen him go around once coming out of turn number 2, and bounces off the wall, gets into the number 29. Oh my goodness, and Lichty does get a piece of that. Not a great camera angle. Let's see if we can jump to a little bit different of a camera angle that will tell the story just a little bit better. Here we go, coming off of turn number 2. Number 5 gets loose. Matt Cherry overcorrects it into the wall right there where all those tire marks are. Comes back down into the number 29 of Adam Newton, who gets a piece of the damage. Cherry still trying to save it, then comes back down the racetrack and gets into the number 51 of Lichty, who goes around and up into and roll up the racetrack right in front of the number 23 machine. Was there more contact with Travis White? Yes, there was. Look at Julian Tesoro avoiding all that madness. Well, we got a couple of trucks damaged there, Garrett. A 4-truck incident here on lap number 49.
It's probably good news for the 30. I don't think he got any damage there. Should get the lucky dog, but that was a crazy wreck. Matt Cherry had an fudge moment there as it snapped back to the right on him, and some collateral damage there. Guys who probably even couldn't see the 5 truck coming back across thought they had it missed and just got into it, Peter. That's a tough break, and this track is almost known for that, Peter. Everything funneling back and guys not having enough room to avoid accidents.
We're hearing that Randy Perdue is going to get the Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award. He, of course, had gone through the grass a little while ago, so Julian Tesoro still trapped 2 laps down. Matt Cherry has also now fallen off the lead lap in the number 5 machine on pit lane. But big shout out again to Brookstone Animal Hospital. They're giving him out, seems like quite or in number here tonight. They've been fairly sparse this season. Not a lot of caution flags in the National Sim Racing Association Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series this season. They've been keeping that caution count down, and as such, not a lot of Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dogs so far this year. We'll see how that goes throughout the rest of the season. RC Planes in the chat saying, got him. But Ryder Lee Angle says, I'm rooting for Philip Scott here, but hey, you're talking about second place. Glad that Philip is in first. So I think that number 69 might not be a close second, Garrett, but I think the number 69 is second in the heart of Ryder Lee Angle here tonight. And of course, if you're in the chat here tonight, like Ryder Lee Angle, RC Planes, you do have to be a subscriber to 3Wide TV to chat. We're trying to keep the chat bots away, the ones that have been spamming some not so nice links. And so far, it seems to be working. So that's good news. Of course, Garrett Gleason, you've been in the chat here tonight, and you're also a member of the 3Wide TV Pit Crew. For only $1 a month, you can join the 3Wide TV Pit Crew and get custom emotes here on the channel. And those custom emotes, green flag, yellow flag. We got the 3Wide TV Screw Up emote, a couple of 3Wide TV emotes as well as FL Dave rooting on Julian and Dom. rooting on the Tesoros here tonight. They definitely look strong, especially if Julian can get back onto the lead lap. If you missed it, led the opening 30 laps here tonight. And Garrett Gleason, hey buddy, you just renewed a member for 4 months here on the channel. You get that bronze 3-wide TV badge as well for being a 4-month member, and I believe once you reach 6 months, that becomes a silver 3-wide TV logo. So thank you very much, Garrett, and thanks to the remainder of our pit crew members. I was looking at that recently, that we have a good number of members of our 3-wide TV pit crew, and it is really, really cool to see the different members that we have. Of course, Garrett, you're one of those. Chris Darling is another one. Ahidi Rigg, Stan Hausman, Bob Giaquinto, Stay Tuned Sports. Adam Dama is a 4-month member as well of the 3-wide TV pit crew. So big shout out to all those folks, and Carlos Acosta for being a 3-wide TV pit crew member. You can join yourself and start building your 3-wide TV badge next to your name, as well as those custom emotes in the chat that you get to spam every time there's a question flag. Who does not love that? But let's go back green here, Garrett, as Philip Scott again will lead us back to the green flag.
Yeah, Philip Scott had a nice restart last time around. He's going to see if he can clear that 17 going into turns 1 and 2 again. And Peter, if we get in there a quick yellow, I'd love to hear from Philip Scott, because he's always a treat to have up in the booth. These guys so far so good through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, Philip Scott able to break away up the front just a little bit. Gets a couple of truck lengths between himself and Tristan Maher, who has the number 69 breathing right back behind him. And hey, RC Plane 59 joining the 3-wide TV pit crew. Thank you very much, RC Planes. And Emmerich Racing says, I'm a lurking fan of 3-wide. Hello. Emmerich, thanks for tuning on in. And there you go, got the green flag emotes there spammed in the chat. Absolutely love to see it. As we got some racing a little bit further back in the pack. Look at this one. There's Garrett Austin doing battle with David Buell. We haven't mentioned much about the number 52 Simbox Chevy Silverado here tonight, or Toyota Tundra, excuse me, here tonight. I usually see those Simbox machines in Chevrolets, but making the switch over to a Toyota. David Buell in that number 52 had a good start to the race, had a good qualifying run, but currently sitting in the 8th position, just inside the top 10. Below him, that's Julian Tesoro trying to work his way up through the field to maybe get himself back onto the lead lap at some point. Also hearing that something's happened to Vincent Valvano. Not sure what's happened to Vincent Valvano here, Garrett. A lot of right side damage on the number 64 machine. Maybe I can go hunting to see exactly what happened to Vincent Valvano that brought him down pit road, because that's just a tough break for the 64. He was having a pretty decent night going in that number 64, but it just all of a sudden seems to have broken away from him.
It's heartbreaking to see Vinny on pit road. Love racing with Vinny. Great person. Definitely some damage to that 64 on that right side. Don't know if he slapped the wall really hard and just decided he's had enough of the racetrack, or if there's something more in depth there, but tough break for the 64. Hope to see him back at it either later tonight or next week.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what happened. He was inside the top 10. He had just got around and up into the 9th position there a little while before that last caution flag came out. He was battling Garrett Austin for that spot. And then, of course, we went green and we pulled it down pit road. So at this moment in time, Vincent Valvano finds himself 1.9 laps behind the race leaders. He's in danger of going down 2 laps, and really we're going to have this battle between a couple of lap trucks in a little bit. Julian Tesoro, if he can catch up to Vincent Valvano, get around him, that will put him in the lucky dog position. But as it stands right now, Julian Tesoro is still not in the Brookstone Animal Hospital lucky dog position. So that is an uphill battle that we'll be continuing to keep our eyes on, as Philip Scott able to clear the field. Pretty much all single file right now as they head off. Look at the sun has set, and there's Vincent Valvano going by, and here come the leaders. There's the 99, there's the 17, the 69, the 21 on the scoring pylon, Tyler Bellinger, but sporting the number 88 look here tonight. So, but it is a good-looking racetrack. And one thing that we want to do, and we do this every time we come to this racetrack here, Garrett, is take a look at the beautiful St. Louis scenery. There's the Gateway Arch. You can see it from this racetrack, and that's just how close this racetrack is to downtown St. Louis. But of course, St. Louis, a lot of people think, well, you know, there's St. Louis, Missouri. Well, this particular racetrack is not in Missouri. No, that's right. It is on the other side of St. Louis, and it is in the Illinois side of St. Louis, technically in Madison, Illinois, but everyone says it's in St. Louis because you can see the Gateway Arch from the racetrack, but you know, it is what it is. The racetrack is in Illinois, and one of, I think, 4 racetracks in Illinois to have hosted a cup race, because that's right, the NASCAR Cup Series goes to Gateway Worldwide Technology Raceway, if you want to call it that, for the first time this weekend. So if you're interested in NASCAR, well, you can check out that race as well. It's going to be an interesting one. This racetrack always very unique in the way it races, and always puts on a unique race. Not another racetrack really like it out there on the schedule, that's for sure. As Philip Scott and Tristan Maher, though, we've seen this a couple of times so far this season here in the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series, where they're running 1-2 in that order.
Yeah, 1-2, and earlier it was the 17 getting passed by the 99 after about 25-30 laps, and now it looks like 17 is trying to catch the 99. It's amazing what you can learn out there with these different runs and just following someone that runs a little bit of a different line with a different driving style. These guys get better and better as these races go on, and smart race car drivers like Philip Scott and Tristan Maher are certainly no different. And it looks like Vincent Valvano's back on the track as well, Peter.
Yeah, Vinny almost 2 laps down in front of the number 99 machine. But if this is your first race that you have seen so far this season in the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series, well, let's kind of set the field for you. 6 races already in the books, and we have had 4 different winners. Tristan Maher and Martin Plout, who came in tonight second place in points, but not out there on the racetrack. That is a story that we have yet to mention, with Martin Plout not being here tonight at this race. Not sure exactly why. He did pull off the racetrack early at Iowa Speedway earlier this season as well. But unfortunately, not seeing Martin Plout out there. But Plout and Maher have each won 2 of the opening 6 races. Mike Floppy Tellier, winner this season, as well as Jason Gracias. Those 4 drivers have combined to win the 6 races that we've had so far, and there have been some really, really stellar races. I'd say the opening 3 races this season were some of the best races I have seen, because we started off the season at Daytona, last lap win for Martin Plout, then Jason Gracias at Homestead, Miami, was able to scoot away only 1 caution at Homestead, Miami. That followed Daytona, which was a really, really good race as well, where we had 5 cautions, which for Daytona is not that bad. All things considered, 5 cautions is pretty darn good. Then we went to Iowa, only 1 caution at Iowa. That was a surprise. Knock Hill, we've only had 1 caution at. Kansas, we had a handful of caution at. Rockingham, everyone thought was going to be absolutely crazy in the caution count, but we only had 4 cautions at a very, very difficult Rockingham Speedway, which is one of my favorite racetracks to go to. We saw some really good racing there. We've just had great racing so far this season, and I'm expecting to see more here tonight as we close in on the halfway mark. The iRacing official will be showing crossed flags here in just about 14 laps from now. You see Valvano still trying to stay ahead of the 99 and Philip Scott to keep himself only being 1 lap down. Jimbo in the number 18, putting together a solid run here. Garrett running 12th right now in the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast F-150, keeping it on the black stuff and in between the lines and learning every single lap he works his way around this joint.
If you wouldn't know any better, Peter, if we could get that live timing and scoring off the screen, you'd think Jimbo has a huge lead out there, not a truck around him. And you know what? As someone who's learning, there's not a better feeling in the world. You don't feel like you're going to get forced into a mistake out there. And we look at the unique racetrack there. I like that overlay. I always mention that every time you put that up, Peter. It's one of my favorite overlays. And Jimbo, just keep logging those laps, bud. Try to stay on the lead lap and keep getting some good finishes. I've seen you steadily improving over the weeks here, and I'm proud of you.
Unfortunately, Travis White, who was involved in that Ford truck incident that we had around lap number 50, he is still in the garage trying to get it all patched up. Currently, he's been on pit road now for the last 9 minutes or so. Let's see if we can maybe get a quick word with driver of that number 23 machine, assuming he's still floating around here on the Discord. He's still in the car, but I'm not seeing Travis White here on the Discord, so unfortunately unable to get a word with the driver who is not out there. Currently, I expect to see Travis White work his way back up onto the racetrack at some point because he's still, like I said, sitting on pit lane in his truck. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Maybe just a lot of damage to repair, Garrett. A long repair bill, if you will, and once they've got it all patched up, he'll work his way back onto the racetrack. I've had races where I've had hour-long repairs, and I've worked my way back out on the racetrack to pick up a handful of positions if the situation is right. If you're in a championship hunt or something like that, you might as well. Right now, number 99, Philip Scott, your race leader, over Tristan Maher, kind of maintaining a fairly healthy gap between these two. Let's just kind of check in on the gap battle between these two, and it's maybe shrunk just a little bit over the last 5 laps. Maher closed it up to within 3.5 tenths of a second. We'll see what it's like as they head to the stripe this time to complete lap number 71, and this time it swings a little bit back into Philip Scott's favor as he put about 0.05 of a second extra between himself and the 17 behind. Not a lot of battles happening out there on the racetrack. Everyone seems like they found their nice little niche out there, and although this is one a little bit further back in the field, detached from the main pack. That's Randy Perdue, who's had some struggles here tonight. Picked up Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award, and Sam Houseman, who also picked up a Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award earlier in the show. They're battling currently for the 10th position here, Garrett. Putting on a pretty decent show for the fans, and of course battling things out for a top 10.
Yeah, top 10, nothing to sneeze at. Even, with the field size, not what we've grown to expect here, but nothing wrong with getting a top 10 in a place like Gateway Worldwide Technology. And Peter, there's still half of this race plus to go. I mean, these guys, you get things figured out now. You start improving your lap times little by little, and you can maybe make your way up towards that top 5.
Yeah, and we've seen that out of Stan Houseman so many times. He's really, really good at keeping the number 39 clean. In fact, in my opinion, if you go to a racetrack where there's going to be a bunch of banged up, beaten up race trucks, you can expect Stan Houseman to start to march his way forward throughout that race. And there's still a long way to go. We're not yet to the halfway mark, just recently reached the 1 hour mark here on the 3-wide TV broadcast. And of course, a big thanks to everyone who's hanging out in the chat here tonight. What do you guys think in the chat about this racetrack? It is very unique, kind of like Darlington Raceway in shape, but a lot more flat. And that brings down the speeds considerably than what you see at Darlington. As we get this battle mid-pack right here, this is the battle for 8th position between the number 29 machine and Garrett Austin. The 29 and 34 duking it out here. David Buell a little bit further back behind them. So kind of a 3-truck battle here for the 7th position brewing. I see a little bit of rear end damage on that number 29 of Adam Newton here, Garrett. I wonder if that's where the front end damage on Matt Cherry's number 5 truck came from earlier in the show. And if you're wondering about Matt Cherry, he has pulled the number 5 off the racetrack. Night done for Matt Cherry.
The 29 had some good long run speed early on in the race, and even with the damage, I expect that 29 to be able to make his way forward. But Peter, like earlier, I commended your detective skills, and it seems like you figured another mystery out. Front end damage on Matt Cherry, rear end damage on the 29. Makes a heck of a lot of sense, Peter, but that's not the world we live in when things make sense. But I'll take your word for it because I trust you.
Well, I was wondering if maybe we can get a quick word with driver of the number 48 machine, Matt Cherry, but based off of Discord, he's still in the Discord, but based off of what I'm seeing, he's playing Call of Duty. So he's decided to take out his frustrations on the racetrack and take that out onto the Modern Warfare battlefield here tonight and try and get some good KD ratio after that with a little bit of inspiration. But we got this battle right now for the 8th position between Garrett Austin and David Buell. It was between Garrett Austin and the number 29 just a moment ago of Adam Newton, but Newton scooted off into the sunset from the front end of Garrett Austin. You can see that right now. Garrett Austin is holding his own on David Buell. You see back there at the very top of the screen, we got a glimpse of the number 25 of Randy Perdue, who has pulled away from Stan Houseman, so that's no longer a battle. There was some side-by-side action a little bit up ahead, but this is between Julian Tesoro, who's a lap down, really tight there with the 971, Nathan Maurer. Maurer not giving him any room. There's contact. There's contact. The 971 goes around of Maurer, and that's going to bring out the caution. And Tesoro does not get his lap back, Garrett, because there was the contact there, but caution flag waves. Now the big question is there going to be any damage on Nathan Maurer's 971 truck?
One of those things, Peter, where I don't know who's right, who's wrong. I mean, you know the 30's fast, but also your 971, you're on the lead lap. You really just shouldn't be racing each other, especially halfway in the race here. And you're gonna see the contact here coming up, and the 971 is going to pay the price here. And really tough break. And I hope there's not too much damage because there's some speed in that 971 as well.
Yeah, and I will say that there was definitely going to be contact, but that contact was made a lot worse, in my opinion, than by the iRacing.com netcode. And yeah, there was some contact with that outside wall, unfortunately, for that 971. He's going to have to come down and repair damage. But you're right. It goes back to, well, what really did the 971 and Nathan Maurer have to lose there? It seemed like he was racing Tesoro a little bit hard. Didn't appear to give him a whole lot of room. I mean, when they almost made contact on entry into the corner, I think that kind of would have been my signal to be like, hey, I just got to let this guy go. But then, of course, you think about 971 Nate Maurer and you go, but at the same time, hey, look, I'm on the lead lap, buddy. You're not. So it does become this kind of question. Like you said, who's in the right, who's in the wrong? It's really hard to say in some of those instances. Meanwhile, Vincent Valvano, good news for Vinny. He's the Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award under this caution flag. Gets himself back on to, I believe, the lead lap. So that's going to be really good news for Vincent Valvano, who came down pit road a little while ago under green flag conditions, we believe. Got himself a lap and a half down and finally able to be fast enough, Garrett, to stay in front of the leaders as well, because remember, he was in danger of going 2 laps down. You see some right side damage, but really good driving by Vincent Valvano in the number 64 machine.
Yeah, happy to see Vinny getting back on the lead lap, getting the Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog, and Vinny's a talented enough driver that if he gets his damage fixed and gets back on level playing ground here on the lead lap, I think he could make his way towards that top 5 as well. Peter, just going back to that incident, 971, you want respect when you're on the lead lap. You understand that, but when you're racing with someone that's not even on the same lap and in fact 2 laps down, you could only lose in that scenario if you're the 971. Like you said, when you saw that aggressiveness out of the lap truck, that should have been the cue. Just let him go, live to play another day. It's only 80 laps in, but I get it. When I'm on the lead lap, which is rare, I want to be respected by the guys who are lap down, and don't hold me up and don't race me if you don't need to. So I get it from both ends, but you're just unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, caution flag out again here tonight, just over the halfway mark. I want to thank you all again for joining us here on 3 Wide TV. Johnny Williams saying, not good there, but I like the track. It's an interesting racetrack, and this is a racetrack, Garrett, that every time I come here in iRacing, I really have to put in laps to practice here because it just races so different. The way you can really drive it in to turn number 1 and 2, let it drift up the racetrack a little bit, and then kind of cut it back down out of turn number 2 to put the power down. It just races different. I'd say a lot of racetracks that are this flat, you kind of have to race a little bit gingerly into the corner and manage the weight distribution. But here I've always found that, man, you can really send it off into turn number 1. And speaking of sending it, the number 30 of Julian Tesoro is going to send it, get one of his laps back, not on the lead lap, but one of the laps back via means of the wave around. He did not pit under this caution flag. Meanwhile, Jimbo did not pit as well. He's on the lead lap, and he's your new race leader because of that. Emmerich Racing says, I race open wheel stuff. Awesome track for that. It is an awesome racetrack for open wheel stuff. I completely agree. Mainly because this racetrack for open wheel, you still have to put quite a lot of brake into turn number 1. You really have to manage turn number 1, and unlike a lot of the 1.5 mile racetracks that open wheels go to that are very aero sensitive, this racetrack here, you can race different lines through turns number 1 and 2 and kind of manage that aero sensitivity through that portion of the racetrack, and that allows them to be really close, good racing through turn number 3 and 4 as well. And it's just not as fast as 1.5 mile racetracks, so it allows the Indy cars to perform quite well here at this particular racetrack, as well as the other open wheels that suffer from aero sensitivity. The green flag is back out. Jimbo is going to come down to the bottom side of the racetrack, and he's not going to make it to turn number 1 as the race leader. He's just going to let the whole field on by. Hopefully that doesn't cause a big black flag issue. But meanwhile, up at the front, Philip Scott back to the race lead, battling with Tristan Maher. And here comes Tyler Bellinger. We were told in the chat to watch out for driver of the number 21/number 88 here tonight, as Bellinger looking to the high side of the number 17 of Philip Scott, gets back in the power early here. The number 99 of Philip Scott, though something happened to Philip there through turn number 3 and 4, and he seems to be off the pace here, Garrett.
You don't think he was shifting, Peter? Maybe missed a shift or something. I've been impressed with Bellinger there. I was keeping an eye on him, but you had a good eye on that 99 there. Let's see if he can recover.
Yeah, something there happened to the number 9. Seems like he's back up to speed now, able to pull away from Tyler Bellinger, but definitely something was up there. Here comes the number 69, Dominic Tesoro, around the high side, though, trying to make that pass that he's made a couple of times here tonight, not yet able to pull it off, but now the 69 will have the preferred line for turn number 1 and 2, we would believe, and if he's going to even make that pass before turn number 1, that might have been Bellinger giving a little bit of give and take to the number 69 at this current juncture. I wouldn't say that's a bad idea either. You want to gain the respect of your rivals out there on the racetrack here. Give and take is one of those things where it's very respectable. And it's one of those things where, you know, some of these drivers will race one another, and now Bellinger, I thought he was going to have a look to the inside of Dominic Tesoro. I was going to say, well, maybe Tesoro might give that up a little bit easier because of that give and take that we might have seen out of Bellinger. Not 100% sure if there was that there, but if it was, very respectable there out of these drivers. Meanwhile, very respectable so far for this driver right here, who's been having a tough season in the number 34, Garrett Austin, who's currently inside the top 5 here at Gateway. Just looking back at some of the results this season for the number 34 of Garrett Austin. He's raced 3 separate times. He's finished 20th at Kansas, 27th at Homestead, and 26th at Daytona. So it has all been rough this season for Garrett Austin. Hopefully tonight, trying to pick up his first top 5 of the season here at this very tricky racetrack. That would be quite an accomplishment for sure, and something that could really start to turn around his season, as he's got the gold octopus on the hood of that Chevy Silverado, racing with number 25, Randy Perdue, who's trying to turn around his night. We saw him battling a little while ago with Stan Houseman for the 10th position. Just out on the fringe of the top 10, I should say. He's now battling for a top 5 position as Philip Scott has a look to the inside of Tristan Maher. Good racing here in the NSRA.
Very good racing, Peter, and like you said, a very difficult racetrack. And I was keeping an eye on that 99, but you touched on the 34 having a tremendous run. 25 of Purdue had the lucky dog earlier, creeping his way back forward towards the top 5. A lot of these guys are figuring this very difficult racetrack out, and it's quite impressive.
Yeah, it is quite impressive. 71 laps to go here. So, number 25 looking to the inside again on Garrett Austin, and not able to do anything just yet. Again, I just think you got to try that high line if you want to make a pass in turn number 1 and 2, or at least get that launch down the back stretch. As we got a couple of these race trucks. The damage number 14 of Jeff Price. He's been sporting that damage for quite some time, though. I'm not sure how much it is affecting him, but we know the 971 Nate Maurer just got into the outside wall a little while ago. Some people might be wondering about Julian Tesoro. Where is Julian Tesoro relative to the pack? Because he did not pit under this last caution flag. He last pitted on lap number 35 here tonight. So it has been a long time since Tesoro was on pit road. He's still hanging with the pack pretty well. Right there at the top of your screen, as looks like Randy Perdue finally able to make that pass on Garrett Austin, move himself up into the top 5. But Tesoro now just one lap down with that wave around that he received, which he's going to want another caution flag pretty soon, because you would think, Garrett, that he'll have to be on pit lane relatively soon.
Yeah, absolutely, Peter. You're going to need to stop for fuel at some point here in the near future. You want a yellow as soon as possible, and hope to not be involved in this one as well, because I believe, Peter, if he could get in there yellow, he is the only truck one lap down, and we get back in the lead lap and then have enough time to get his number 30 back to the front.
Yeah, in fact, you're right. He's the only truck currently sitting one lap down. Jimbo, however, in the number 18 machine, is just now sitting at about half a lap down. And we know he did not pit. He's on older tires here, as we see Nathan Maurer and Jeff Price now trying to make that move around the high line. Looks like Price going to pull level with the number 34 of Garrett Austin. So Austin now tumbling down to the 8th position with that pass that Jeff Price just made. And here comes the number 29 machine of Adam Newton starting to factor into this battle for position mid-pack here. Just looking at the way the field is shaping up right now, a big gap between the 4th and 5th place trucks. That's the gap you see between the number 21 there, Tyler Bellinger, number 21 on the scoring pylon, and number 25, of course, of Randy Perdue. And then behind them, you got another gap right in front of Stan Houseman. Houseman is running in the 12th position. David Buell in front of him in 11th is currently sitting about 4 seconds up the road. Stan was on pit road this last time. Not sure if there's damage on the number 39, or maybe this is just one of those racetracks that Stan doesn't quite like. You know, I've been off and on with this racetrack over the years on whether or not I enjoy this racetrack. It's been a racetrack that hasn't always been too kind to me. We'll just put it that way. I've struggled to figure out this joint in my sim racing career. You go to those racetracks, man, Garrett. You know, you go to those racetracks that you just can never figure out. You never enjoy. They feel like a slog the entire race, and this is just one of those tracks for me. It's a lot of fun if I'm out there hot lapping. But man, I get into the race situation, I've never been able to figure out this place. So it's just one of those racetracks. Might be one of those for Stan Houseman, as Garrett Austin gets really sideways through turns number 1 and 2. But Adam Newton not able to make a move, and now here comes Vincent Valvano now back on the lead lap after that Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award. We've seen him try 3 wide before earlier in the show. Thought about it there again, but looks like Adam Newton will be able to make that pass on Garrett Austin. So Austin now slides back to 9th, and here comes Vincent Valvano now on his back tailgate.
Seen some good green flag pace from that 29, like we mentioned earlier, and Vincent Valvano taking advantage of that Brookstone Animal Hospital lucky dog, seeing if he could make his way into the top 10, further into the top 10 here, Peter. I thought Vinny was going to sail it into the corner there. You said he mentioned 3 wide earlier. I thought we were going to have a 3 wide thing there. That would have been pretty fun, but also an unnecessary risk, especially after getting your lap back. And Vincent's too much of a gentleman to pull that type of move off.
Yeah, maybe with 1 lap to go, maybe on the white flag, but we still have 63 laps to go here tonight, and Vincent, like you said, trying to work his way back up through the field after being, at one point, I thought, down and out after he came down pit road under green flag conditions. I was really unsure why, but maybe we can touch base with Vincent Valvano at some point later in the night for that. But let's see if we can check out some of the other battles happening out there on the racetrack, and let's go right up to the front of the field, because Garrett, we were watching some of those battles mid-pack, but Philip Scott is back on the back bumper of Tristan Maher. We saw when he lost what appeared to lose power unexpectedly. Not sure if he got loose or something like that, or he missed a shift or something like that, but he lost the lead to the number 17 of Maher. Now these two are back together, racing with one another, battling for position as we reach lap number 100.
Yeah, Philip Scott is there, Peter, and Philip Scott, the nicest thing to say about in this regard is patience, not his strength out there, Peter. He's aggressive. He wants that lead, teammate or not. He's going to do everything in his power to put that 99 back out front for his friends, Ryder Lee Angle in the chat, who's rooting him on, and Tristan will do as good a job as anyone to hold him off, but it's going to be hard to keep the 99 when he sets his mind to something behind you.
Yeah, that's for sure. I also want to note that the truck that you see out front, that is Jim Casterline of Stay Tuned Sports podcast fame, about to fall 1 lap down as here comes Philip Scott, a late lunge to the inside. We've seen it very difficult to make him pass on the low side of turret number 1 and 2, and that's going to happen again here as Philip Scott drops back in line. And now here comes Dominic Tesoro. He saw that happen, and he said, you know what, he just lost quite a bit of momentum. Maybe I can now take advantage of that. Philip, not able to do so just yet. But that number 69 truck is looking strong. Definitely has quite a bit of pace. Just has yet to get to the race lead. Meanwhile, something's happened to the number 30 of Julian Tesoro. In the grass here, going down onto pit road. That could be a penalty. Garrett, I wonder if Julian Tesoro was trying to pit here under green flag conditions, because remember, he's one of those drivers who stayed out under this last caution. Looks like he was leaning to go down pit road. Let's see what happened here. Jimbo also heading down pit road, and oh man, just got onto the grass and slid up onto the racing surface. I believe that will be an unsafe pit entry for Julian Tesoro, which is just going to compound to his problems here tonight. It is a tricky pit road entry under green flag conditions, and unfortunately could be big problems for Julian Tesoro here tonight, compounding to the problems that he's already had. Now he will be multiple laps down as well because of the green flag pit stop. That's the risk you run there, Garrett, of pitting under green flag and taking that wave around, not under caution, but we do think that should get him, though, into the window where he can go the rest of the race on this final stop.
Well, I think we finally found Julian Tesoro's weakness, Peter. It's that access road here at Worldwide Technology. Who would have thought, of all the things out there to beat 30, the access road would give him so much trouble tonight and put him in some difficult positions. And speaking of a difficult position, I'm not going to go back to the third place truck, but the first and second place truck here, what a battle. It's very difficult to hold off the 99 of Philip Scott, and I'm shocked that Tristan Meyer's been able to do it this long, but Philip's gearing up for another run here for the lead.
Yeah, these two have been glued nose to tail for quite some time here tonight, running 1-2, and caution. Yellow is out, and we're hearing that it might involve Jimbo Casterline. Something happened here. I think he was just trying to let people by, and I think that triggered the yellow. Although, nope, there it is. Got away from him out of turn number 4. That's a tough break. There goes the number 30 of Julian Tesoro. And I bet you Julian Tesoro here is going, guys, I just got my lap back, or I just pitted. Why couldn't this caution flag come out about 3 laps sooner? That is a tough break for a couple of those drivers. Jimbo involved in that to also just come off pit lane. So there's the iRacing pace truck. Tristan Maher closing up to the back of that not Chevy Silverado looking Chevy Silverado looking not Chevy Silverado. There we go. As now all of our leaders will come down pit road. Good news though for both Jimbo and Julian Tesoro is they will be able to take the wave around, but both of those drivers I think will be now sitting 2 laps down.
I think it's time for a good pit stop here, Peter. You gotta make sure you hit your marks, and maybe if you're in the 99, you can beat that 17 off of pit road and get track position that way. You don't want to push it too far in speed. That's definitely a risk you don't want to take this late in the go.
Yeah, you do not want to speed. You do not want to make a mistake. This could be the money stop here tonight here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Martin Plute has joined us in the chat. Martin, not out there on the racetrack here tonight. Entered tonight second place in points. Martin, hopefully all is okay with you here tonight, bud. Tough to not see you out there on the racetrack. Now, good news for Julian Tesoro is he is going to get one of his laps back courtesy of Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award, but he's still going to be 2 laps down. So that's the bad news, and unfortunately he can't compound that with like a wave around or something like that to get 2 laps back for 1. That just doesn't exactly happen. But Julian Tesoro back to 2 laps down, which is kind of where he started, I guess, in the scheme of trying that wave around that he did a little while ago. But this uphill battle for Julian Tesoro continues here tonight. Maher wins the race off pit road over Philip Scott. Tyler Bellinger is able to get around Dominic Tesoro on pit road. He jumps up to 3rd, the 69 back to 4th. Randy Perdue staying in 5th. Jeff Price in 6th. Nathan Maurer in 7th. Garrett Austin at number 34 back up into 8th. Adam Newton in 9th. David Buell rounding out our top 10. Vincent Valvano in 11th. And just coming off pit road, Stan Hausman getting some damage fixed. Maybe there is more damage on that number 39 truck than I thought. You can see that number 39 rubbed off on that right-hand side. And then it's about 2 laps back to Julian Tesoro in that number 30 with 51 or so laps to go when we go back green flag here, Garrett.
Yeah, Peter, we had a request for an interview in the chat. Bellinger would like to be an in-race reporter, Peter, if you want to get on that. But if not, I mean, he doesn't get to make the calls here, so that's up to you, bud. I just wanted to notify you of that.
You know, I was actually just thinking about that, of getting a in-race report from one of these drivers, but here's the thing. I don't see Tyler Bellinger in the Discord anywhere. I don't know, maybe you can find him in here somewhere, Garrett, but I'm not seeing, excuse me, Tyler Bellinger at all in the Discord channel. So, Tyler, if you're in the Discord, hey, bud. See you at all. I see quite a few of the other drivers in the field here tonight. I see Matt Cherry, Stan Hausman, Adam Newton, David Buell, Justin White, Nathan Maurer, Philip Scott, Maher, Vincent Valvano, Randy Perdue, the Tesoros, and then you and I, Garrett. So, not sure what if there was anything, but unfortunately, it seems like the pace car lights have turned off. So, that kind of caught me off guard, but we'll try, if we get another caution, we'll try and do an interview with one of these drivers. I was kind of thinking about that, but looked up and down, and Bellinger's not in the Discord. But we wish him luck. He's going to be starting there in 3rd, and he's put on a good race here tonight so far, Garrett. Really starting to make some strides here in the National Sim Racing Association. Of course, new to the series this season. And really been someone who I've been keeping my eyes on because it seems like every week he gets a little bit closer to the front.
Yeah, I've been impressed. This is my first experience seeing Bellinger out on a racetrack, Peter, and it's steadily moving his way forward. And the only thing that bothers me, Peter, and it's from an administrator point of view and a broadcaster point of view, is I hate when the numbers that we have on our ticker do not line up with the paint scheme. We need to fix that. It confuses me. I'm not that smart. So even if you win the race, I'm not sure what number you are. So just keep that in mind for next week as we're getting ready to go back green here. Face truck's pulling off.
Yeah, not sure. That could be my end. I don't know if that's the same on your end, Garrett. Not sure if you're in the server, but could be something to do with trading paints. Trading paints is always imperfect in my opinion. But Tristan Maher, your race leader, goes off towards turn number 1. 99 of Philip Scott there in second. That battle for the third position, though, is on, but the number 69 kind of takes it away. Now the battle's going to be for fourth back behind him. It's Bellinger under fire by the number 14 of Jeff Price, and Bellinger is going to slide from third back to fifth.
Well, Peter, had he been in the Discord, we could have warned him about that during our interview, but unfortunately that's not the case. But 88 or 21 is going to be able to get back in line here and take a look on the 14 and get that position right back here as we head down the front stretch.
Yeah, really good over-under there. Tyler Bellinger, that's good racecraft out of the number 21/88, whatever his number is there, Garrett. But that's really good racecraft to do that over-under, to try and keep that momentum up. But now here comes the number 14, Jeff Price, using that higher line to get that momentum out of turn number 2, and he will fend him off once more. Meanwhile, let's go back up to the front of the field, because look at this. The number 17, Tristan Maher, under fire by Philip Scott through turn number 3 and 4. Nope, nothing doing this time for Philip Scott, as we're under 50 laps to go.
If I'm Tesoro in the 69 here, Peter, I'm using that 99 as a battering ram. Let Philip make the opening and just follow him through. Like, if you've raced with Philip Scott, you know he's going to make that move. Let him do it, and then you just pick up the pieces. But look at this battle, Peter. They are in every groove, and Stan Hausman's up in the marbles like I was when I raced there.
Yeah, Hausman might have had a little bit more than marbles there, unfortunately. Let's see if we can see what happened here. Let's go on board with Stan Hausman as he took this 3 wide. Now, there's a little bit of grip up here near the wall. There's some grip to be found right there, but you have to cut the truck back down, because if you don't, there's a wall right there. It'll come out and grab you. And unfortunately, that's what happened to the number 39 machine. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, look at this. Side-by-side action for the race lead. Was side-by-side action for the race lead. Now side-by-side for second is Tesoro going to use that high line to make a pass here, maybe. Philip Scott fights back on the inside, working lap number 113 here tonight.
Oh, this is a great battle, 69, 99. Philip Scott not going to give that up easily, but as I say that, he tucks it in the third place. Maybe see if that 69 has something for your teammate, and then see if you could follow 69 through. But Tristan Maher loves seeing these trucks battling behind him as he leads here as we're closing in on it.
Yeah, Jeff Price now side by side with Tyler Bellinger again. Bellinger on the inside this time. I think Jeff Price might have given Bellinger a little bit of give and take there, if off into turn number 3 as the number 88. We'll just go by 88 here tonight. That's what's on his truck. He's going to move up another spot here up into 4th, but back behind him, Jeff Price and Randy Perdue going to battle things out for a top 5. That's where Randy Perdue's been now for quite some time on this racetrack. The field getting a little bit more sparse back behind him. Stan Hausman racing with Garrett Austin further back in the pack. Julian Tesoro, for those of you wondering at home, still sitting 2 laps down, but he is in the main pack, so he's going to try and keep that truck where he is. Let's see if... just checking to see. Yeah, Jimbo's still out there on the racetrack. I was going to see if Jimbo pulled off the number 18 truck or not. I was going to see if we could get maybe a recap from Jimbo, but he's still out there on the racetrack. He's still playing away, 6 laps down right now. But I think Randy Perdue might have just clipped the wall a little bit further back in the number 25 machine. I think these drivers are starting to heat up here, Garrett. I think it's starting to be go time. It is pretty difficult to make a pass here. You want to make as many passes as you can here, just on a restart when the field is all densely packed. But just the body language I'm seeing out of some of these drivers is that it's go time here at Gateway. We're under 50 laps to go.
It's definitely go time, Peter. I can see these guys are driving these trucks in deeper. They're hoping they stick. They're sideways. They're getting everything out of these trucks right now. And look no further in this battle up in the top 3 for that to come into play. And Peter, just to go back, is it because I'm in the booth that nobody wants to interview with us today? It seems like everyone we try to talk to, other than Julian Tesoro, pretty much tells us not interested, and we have to continue on with our night.
Yeah, here comes the number 99, Philip Scott, to the inside of Dominic Tesoro. They're going to be side by side here down the front stretch. Let's see. There we go. Number 99 looks hot, but Dominic Tesoro has that preferred higher groove for turn number 1 and 2, and there's nothing that Philip Scott can do just yet to make that pass stick. So they go back to single file. This is the best battle for position. It is the battle for second. No other real battles that I'm seeing out there is Philip Scott trying to go all the way down to those rumble strips on the inside, trying to find some grip down there, and it was looking good there, Garrett, until Dominic Tesoro kind of pinched him down there. He might have had to check up. Now again, Philip Scott looking to the inside. I like the way that number 99 truck's driving, and I think Tesoro just laid over and said, hey buddy, you're faster, go ahead, take it. I don't want to get involved in an accident. There's still time to go. I think that was a little bit of give and take out of the number 69 machine. But Philip Scott, what can he do? Can he run down the number 17 of Maher? Or can Maher become our first 3-time winner this season?
Well, Maher is in good shape for that, Peter. But like you said, the 99 hit those rumble strips, and I was expecting the worst. And he made that work for him and pulled off that pass. It just, Philip Scott, such a talented driver, has a lot of road course experience, knows how to hit those rumble strips perfectly, much like yourself, Peter. So looks like he's tracking that 17 down in the brief time he's been back in second place already.
Yeah, so lap count winding down, 40 laps to go this time by. No real battles out there on the racetrack. This is one. I take that back as Stan Houseman looking to the inside of Garrett Austin. Number 34, number 39. Again, battling for 11th spot. They've been battling for this spot now for pretty much ever since the green flag fell on this last restart on lap 109. But, not quite the night that Stan Houseman would have wanted. After saying, Garrett, he's the driver who keeps his truck clean and all that stuff, he's got some damage on that number 39 BeerStreetJournal.com machine. And it's a perfect segue. If you have not checked out BeerStreetJournal.com, here, maybe not the perfect segue, but hey, a segue nonetheless. If you have not checked out BeerStreetJournal.com, make sure you go check them out. There's some news on their website about all the craft breweries across the United States. So really cool stuff. Talking about some Wild Heaven Sunburst IPAs, the Firestone Walker Beer Festival, which I would absolutely love to go. The Firestone Walker Invitational Beer Festival. They invite breweries from all around the globe to come to the Firestone Walker. Of course, if you don't know Firestone Walker, craft brewery located out on the West Coast. But they have so many cool breweries going. In fact, some that from my neck of the woods, like Pine House Brewing from Austin. There's some others that I've been looking through their list and seeing who they all had. Of course, Cigar City's going to be there. They're from Florida. Just breweries from all across the country. But there's some news about the Firestone Walker Invitational on the BeerStreetJournal.com. In fact, it looks like it's a sellout for 2022. But I think a lot of people in the craft beer scene or enjoy craft beers, whatever those craft beers might be, I think that should be on their bucket list, is to go to the Firestone Walker Invitational event. You can go there, just try a bunch of different beers and have a good time. But BeerStreetJournal.com is a great place to check out to enjoy all your craft beer news.
Yeah, that sounds exciting, and I know you're certainly into the craft beer more than I am. Have you had anything exciting to drink lately that you'd like to recommend for everyone out there to try?
Definitely Cigar City is a good one. If you have not tried some of the Cigar City brews that they have one that I really like. It's Maduro. It's a brown ale. Maduro, they make cigars, and that's kind of what Cigar City's kind of all about. So they have a beer called Maduro, and it's a really good brown ale. I really enjoy it. Now it's from Florida, but then we have some really good ones here. Revolver Brewing here in the DFW area is a pretty good one. Their Blood and Honey is kind of, I would call it a gateway to craft beer, but it's pretty tasty. But of course, my go-to beer over the past 5 months or so is new to Texas, not new to the Northeast, but Yingling finally made it down to Texas, and I've really been enjoying Yingling. I know I sound like a broken record, as I've said that before, but we just didn't have them here in Texas. They're kind of a new thing, and the beer's actually pretty good. So for those people who have been enjoying Yingling for a long time, hey, you know what? You've lucked out for quite some time. We did finally get some spam in the chat, so we removed those folks from the chat. Hopefully, well, I need to figure out another way around this. Maybe I need to, I don't know. But I might just spam the chat a little bit. We definitely don't recommend that channel. We definitely don't recommend it. But hey, it is what it is. They've been removed from the channel, and hopefully we don't have any more spam bots. Put it that way. As number 17, Tristan Maher is your race leader. Philip Scott there in second. Garrett, I think these two are going to battle it out all the way to the checker flag. Philip Scott was able to hold on. Dominic Tesoro battled with Philip Scott for a while, but Philip Scott now has got the better of Dominic Tesoro for that position. And he's actually run down Tristan Maher here over the last 10 laps or so.
Yeah, Philip's definitely right back to that back bumper, that 17, and it's he seems like he can get there all the time, Peter, but he hasn't really shown the ability to pass that 17, and especially I think as the run goes on, to me that plays to Tristan Maher's strength more so than Philip Scott's strength. After racing with both of them, being friends with both of them, I think Tristan's just steady pace all the time, and we saw Philip making some wild moves, and that could hurt the tires, hurt that truck in the long run. But Peter, I haven't had beer in a long time, but when I used to drink occasionally, Yingling was my favorite, and I'm kind of in the mood for one now after that promo you just did. So something I might have to look forward to as the summer months creep on here.
Yeah, getting a nice cold Yingling on draft has been a very nice experience that we've been able to get now for about the last year here in the state of Texas. But up at the front of the field, we still got this battle, and really this is looking at the live timing and scoring. Adam Newton is locked up in a battle for position as well. Let's go check out this one right here. That's with Nathan Maurer right in front of him in the 971. Jimbo has entered pit lane here tonight. Not sure if Jimbo's calling it a night or not, but we'll keep an eye on whether or not Jimbo can work his way back out onto the racetrack, as it sounds like we have a train rolling through where I am. If you hear a train in the background, we'll see what that train might be. Sometimes I think you can hear it maybe just faintly. It's an eastbound train from Dallas to Atlanta that's rolling through right now here where I am. So if you're a train buff, you know about trains, there you go. A little bit of information that we got a train that runs from Dallas to Atlanta here through town. But not a lot of action happening out here on the racetrack, but up at the front where all the action is. We'll keep our eyes peeled here here for now. You know, Garrett, I haven't done this in 2 weeks. You're sounding more like a pro than I am here tonight. I think I'm just a bit rusty. I need to do this like every other night to stay on top of it.
Yeah, that's the thing, Peter. Repetition is key. You were doing this it seemed like 7 days a week there for a while, and now you're a dad. You have other priorities. I mean, job, wife. I mean, stuff I don't have, Peter. Don't rub that in my face. And it does. It wears you down a little bit, and you don't do this all the time, and you become a little rusty. But that's why Bob Giaquinto, Carlos, myself, we're better than you, and we know it.
Yeah, definitely better than me. That's for certain. As speaking of better than me, Philip Scott, Tristan Maher, still toe-to-toe, showing just how good of race car drivers they are here, at least sim race car drivers, battling out toe-to-toe. And Garrett, what do you think your move is? If you're Philip Scott, you've been fast here tonight, but just haven't been able to get around Tristan Maher. What do you think your move is to try and get around the 17?
Well, my move, Peter, and this is in all seriousness, I would probably cue the chat and say, hey, Tristan, how much is it going to take for you to let me buy? $50, $100? I mean, take your wife out. I mean, that would be my play, but I'm also not as good as Philip Scott. I think Philip's just going to try to make Tristan make a mistake out here and keep showing him different looks. Hey, I might go this way, I might go inside, I might go outside, and then eventually he's just going to sail it in there like we know Philip Scott wants to sail it in there and hope it sticks. And I think that's what I look forward to. But I think these guys are going to race each other clean until the very end. And I would not be surprised if that 99 doesn't win this race. I think the 99 is going to make the move here, Peter.
Yeah, we will see. Here comes Philip Scott looking to the inside. This is, I think, where he has to make his move. Through turns number 3 and 4. He's looking to the inside. He's got his nose level. But Maher trying to hold tough around the outside. The 99 gets loose down there on the inside line. Maher should have the run up off the corner, but Philip Scott trying to hold tough down there, not able to do anything. Man, I thought that was going to be Philip's opportunity to get the lead back. There's still 25 laps to go, though. Still plenty of time for one of these drivers to get their way up to the front of the field. Maybe another caution flag. This has usually been about the time here tonight where we have seen a caution flag in these runs. As we look a little bit further back, Nate Maurer getting past Randy Perdue, and this 3-truck battle has all of a sudden sprung up on me. Number 29 of Adam Newton there looking to get around Randy Perdue as well, which is tough for Randy. Randy's been kind of steadfast in that 6th position now for the last 25 to 40 laps or so. And all of a sudden, these other trucks finding some space around them.
Peter, we joked about you being rusty and out of it, but I'm going to ask a question because I'm out of it. Are we sure these guys are good on pit stops here till the end? And this is a tremendous battle, so I'll cover here for a second. But the 25 to 29 here, taking a look, and Tesoro also, we knew how much speed's in that truck. It'll benefit him if he could kind of force these guys into a caution. But I just want to go back to the pit stop thing, make sure that we're going to stay green here till the end if possible.
Yeah, I think we will not need another pit stop for the whole field. I think everyone's made their final pit stop. If we go green flag until the end, here comes Randy Perdue going up to the top side of the racetrack as Adam Newton has cleared the number 25 machine, got himself now up into the 7th position as Julian Tesoro there. It looks like his night, unless we get a couple of caution flags here in a hurry, his night could not be more disappointing. And I go back to earlier this season at Rockingham Speedway. Julian Tesoro had one heck of a fast truck at Rockingham Speedway. Started up front for that race. Got involved in an accident early. His night was done, finished dead last. He has had some very poor luck this season, and we'll see if he can bounce back at next week's race. And let's talk about next week's race a little bit here on 3Wide TV, because next week we go from one egg-shaped racetrack to, guess what? Another egg-shaped racetrack. That's right. The Simbox Southern 170 is next week. 125 laps around the Darlington Raceway is next week's event. I'm looking forward to Darlington. Hopefully we can have a little bit of a throwback flair. My challenge to these drivers, if you're watching right now, you should get onto these drivers as well. Next week, I'm not sure if it's officially or unofficially a throwback race, but let's see the throwback schemes next week. If you're one of these drivers, I want to see them. I want to see, and maybe we can even do a fan vote here in the chat of what their favorite throwback scheme is. So I want to see him, Garrett. I know you want to see him. We love seeing drivers' creativity kind of come to the forefront of kind of these throwback events. When they get creative, what driver are they going to do a throwback of? Why are they going to do a throwback of that particular driver scheme? I want to see it. Hopefully we get to see some throwbacks next week.
I love throwback races, Peter. You know, I love seeing the creativity. There's so many talented designers, and I'm sure Chris at MaxGrafix will help you out if you need a scheme, or Johnny Williams, hit him up on the forum. I'm sure he could use the work as well. Let's see a field full of throwback trucks. And Peter, I'm gonna do my very best to be out there next week if I'm not needed in the booth, and I'll make sure I have a throwback scheme for you. It won't be as good as everyone else's, but I'll put the effort in for you.
So, 19 laps to go. Sound like a broken record, but this battle for the race lead continues to rage on. Just about 3/10 between Tristan Maher and Philip Scott. And you begin to wonder, Garrett, as it looks like Maher has been able to just lug it out a little bit over the last few laps or so. Do you think Philip Scott has maybe used up all of his tires, and maybe that'll be it for Philip Scott?
Yeah.
Or do you think maybe Philip's maybe nursing the tires a little bit? Maybe he can have another stab here before the checkered flag?
Yeah, Peter, he might have one more run left in if he cools himself off and the tires off. We know that's usually the case with Philip, but Tristan's done everything he's needed to do. He's given Philip the opportunity to get underneath him, use up some tire, and fail. And I think that's going to play to his advantage as these laps wind down, because he really hasn't put a tire out of place as far as the 17 goes. He just looks very smooth out there. He's not beating himself, and he's letting Philip do all the work, and for not much success, that number 99's been stuck in second place since this restart.
Yeah, definitely dropping back just a little bit. In fact, we'll see if we can bring up that time delta chart. You can see it's gone from about 1/10.5 up to now 0.4 of a second. We'll see what it's like this time at the start-finish line. See if it grows anymore. It does. About another 0.03 of a second, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it's almost 10% of the gap that he had the lap prior. So just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more is helpful. We are getting a couple of late race pit stops, actually, interestingly enough. Garrett Austin has come down pit road. There he is in his machine with his pit crew. Not sure when Garrett Austin was last on pit road, but this is a tough break for a driver who had a good run going, was up in the top 5 for a brief while here tonight, and now going to be scored down in the 11th position. Let's see if he can make up some of that track position with 15 laps to go, but I think he's going to need some caution and have some things go his way. He's going to be scored right now almost, or is 2 laps down, rather. The second truck coming in scored 2 laps down with Julian Tesoro, who's just a couple of trucks behind him. Now, on the race track, the other truck sitting 2 laps down in the 12th position. But, you know, through attrition, Julian Tesoro has probably worked his way up from, what would you say, Garrett, probably the 17th or so position up into 12th. But the driver who dominated the opening 30 laps has just not had it his way since that penalty on pit road where he passed the pace car.
Your live betting odds for the first 30 laps of this race, that number 30 would have been like a minus 500 favorite. It doesn't look like anyone in the field had anything for him, but that's why we play the game, as they say, or race the whole race, and the 30 just had some bad luck, but like you said, making up some positions based on attrition, get as many points as possible, and just move on to next week at Darlington, where I'm sure that number 30 will be as fast as ever.
So 13 laps to go. Let's check out some of the other battles going on out there on the racetrack. Jeff Price has just lost a position a little while ago. In fact, he's lost a couple of positions over the last few laps. Lost a spot to Nathan Maurer in the 971, who's worked his way back up into the top 5. Nice recovery for him after that contact with Julian Tesoro mid-race. After he made some contact with the outside wall. Looks like the crew did a great job of repairing the 971 Simbox Chevy Silverado. Adam Newton got around Jeff Price. We've talked about the long run pace on the number 29 here tonight. We've seen that multiple times in his National Sim Racing Association career, that he tends to be good on the longer run. He's worked his way up into the 6th position. We'll see whether or not he can run down Nathan Maurer in front of him. Only about a half second between those two. Probably the best battle on the racetrack besides the battle for the race lead, which is kind of hovering at about 0.4 to 0.5 of a second between Tristan Maher and Philip Scott. That's about where it's at right now with these 2 trucks that you see on your screen, 971 and at least the one that you're right on board with right now of Newton and Julian Tesoro right back behind them. And then number 30, hoping to get some of his laps back. But Garrett Austin on those fresher tires is actually, it looks like he's going to actually get one of his laps back kind of the old-fashioned way here. Probably not exactly what Philip Scott would have wanted here. Wanted a lap truck racing him late, but he probably says, you know what, just go on by me. There's more to lose here than to gain. Go down, catch Maher, get your lap back, And who knows, maybe something might happen with Tristan Maher when Garrett Austin gets to him, so not much to lose there for Philip Scott. Yes, Garrett Austin, you can see he's definitely faster than these other trucks around him on those fresher tires, but with make that 9 laps to go now. Not a lot of time for him to get back on the lead lap, but this way, Garrett, if he can get around the 17 of Maher, get a quick yellow, that would put the number 34 back on the lead lap here. So that'd be good news, but bad news is the number 17 of Maher is also catching the 39 of Stan Houseman, which would put Stan down 1 lap. So, you know, we talked about the Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award, and it can really make or break people's nights. It can change people's nights in a hurry. But see whether or not we get any more here tonight. That would require another yellow flag. Cautions breed cautions. Also hearing out there on the racetrack, man, this popped up out of nowhere, that David Buell has got around Jeff Price. And, Jeff Price is in the wall. Jeff Price in the 14's in the wall. Garrett, I'm wondering if the number 14 of Jeff Price here is saving fuel, or maybe something else has happened. I don't know. He's coming down pit road here. He's fallen like a rock over the last 10 laps or so. He got past on lap 145 for 5th, and he'd fallen all the way down to 8th in about 7 or 8 laps. I can only think that maybe he was short on fuel. Maybe he was clutching it, which caused him to lose that engine braking off into turn number 1, and the loss of engine braking caused him to get into the wall. That would be kind of a semi-likely scenario. But that's bad news for Jeff Price, whose night does not appear like it's going to end up exactly where he wanted it to be. Now here's the race leader, number 17 of Tristan Maher. In front of him, he's got the lap truck, who's now 1.9 laps down. That's Garrett Austin. Then he has Stan Houseman, who is about 0.9 laps down, just on the lead lap. Well, now was on the lead lap. Stan Houseman drops off the lead lap, lets the number 17 of Maher on by. But I just wonder if some of these trucks out there are saving fuel, Garrett. I don't know the answer to that. But at this moment in time, we got some trucks kind of all of a sudden moving their way through the field pretty quickly. Other drivers kind of dropping back in a hurry. One of those drivers is this one right here. That's Tyler Bellinger, who is losing quite a bit of ground to the 971 back behind him, Nathan Maurer. In fact, let's bring up the time delta here. Well, you know what? I take that back. I guess it's been pretty even. He's lost a little bit of time to Nathan Maurer over the last 10 laps or so. But I'm just curious to know if all these drivers have enough fuel to make it to the end of the race, or whether we're going to have any run out.
Peter, that was my initial thought when I asked you the question. I just felt like we were close. I just had that hunch, like that racer's instinct, that it was going to come down to some sort of crazy fuel mileage. But the way the 99 and 17 were racing, I don't think they were concerned with fuel. But it seems like you mentioned, these guys further back in the field are clutching and way off the pace. So, Peter, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if anything happens. If we see the leaders run out of fuel here with 3 laps to go, at this point, it wouldn't blow my mind that much.
Yeah, I also wonder if that might be why Philip Scott has had to back off a little bit. Maybe he was short on fuel. It's going to be interesting, assuming the 17, the 99, and everyone else are good on fuel inside the top 3 right now, with Dominic Tesoro running in 3rd. It'll be interesting to hear just how close they were on fuel when we get to talk to them post-race. But at least for right now, Tristan Maher up to a 1-second race lead. Coming to 2 laps to go. Philip Scott, who is in 2nd, has about a 2-second advantage on Dominic Tesoro. He's got about a 3-second advantage on Tyler Bellinger, who's about a 2nd in front of Nathan Maurer, who's about 0.6 of a second in front of Adam Newton. Not a lot of battles or potential battles on our final lap for position, unless we start to see these drivers run out of fuel. Dominic Tesoro, though, getting loose out of turn number 2. It might just be a battle of driver versus the track at this point.
Yeah, and nobody's really racing each other out there, Peter. Coming to one to go, they're just racing the racetrack, racing the potential fuel mileage. And Tristan Maher excited to see this white flag, and this one he has just a little bit of fuel left. It looks like he's going to take home another win. Wow, the momentum is certainly on the driver of the number 17 Eclipse Photography side this season in the Stay Tuned Sports Truck Series.
Yeah, first driver to potentially win 3 times this season would be the number 17 of Tristan Maher as he works his way into the final corner. Does he have enough fuel to make it to the checkered flag? The Eclipse Photography F-150 comes out of turn number 4. Tristan Maher goes to victory lane back-to-back after the road course win 2 weeks ago. Maher gets the job done. Very, very impressive job by Tristan Maher to hold off a very fast number 99 machine of Philip Scott. Teammates, the Total Nonstop Racing teammates, 1-2 here tonight. Maher has now won 3 out of the last 4 races this season on an absolute roll. Garrett, I had said you were the monkey on Tristan Maher's back a few weeks back. Now I'm starting to think that's not true because you've been here in the 3-wide TV booth and commentated the 17 to victory. And you see Philip Scott, I think he's going to celebrate with the number 17 here tonight.
Yeah, they both started. That's quite the teammate bump there. He almost wiped the 17 out, but burn it down, Tristan. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of Philip Scott. You guys race each other clean, put on a heck of a show, and great job by all these guys out there, Peter. This is a very tough racetrack, and we had a string of cautions there early on, and everyone pulled it together. And we put on a good show here for 2 hours here on YouTube, so nothing to complain about. And I'm excited to hear from these guys, hear about their fuel mileage and how much they had left there at the end. Maybe you and I were just really rusty and we had no clue what was going on. I mean, that's certainly possible, and we've done that before.
Yeah, Tristan Maher burning it down here on the front straight. We're going to get a word with our top 3 finishers here tonight of Tristan Maher, our race winner, second place, Philip Scott, and Dominic Tesoro in reverse order of that here in just a moment. So don't go anywhere here on 3-Wide TV. In fact, let's see if we can start off with tonight's third place finisher, driver of the number 69 machine, that being Dominic Tesoro. Dominic, Peter Short, 3-Wide TV booth. You got a chat? Do you want to get? You got a copy? My goodness.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what. That number 69, you had a lot of pace. Second fastest in practice. Things didn't go exactly to plan in qualifying, however, for you and the number 69 machine. But you put together a pretty solid race. Anything you think you could have done different for those top 2?
I mean, man, they were hard to keep up with as is. I don't feel we had the pace whatsoever. I was playing with the brake bias on the fly quite a bit, just trying to find the right groove, and just couldn't get it done. We definitely had the pace in practice. Qualifying, I screwed up big time, and I think that was a huge setback because the whole race we were basically playing catch up. But if I could do it differently, man, I would stick with one brake bias setup and leave it there instead of playing with it so much.
Well, you did have a lot of pace in practice, but of course the track temperature in practice was also a little bit higher with it being sunset rather than, post sunset. Do you think that might have factored into your result here tonight?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was definitely more comfortable with the conditions in practice. To be honest with you, qualifying was a bit of a shock. As far as that first lap, I was like, "Oh man, this is a lot different." But like anything else, man, you just kind of adapt and keep moving forward, and that's exactly what happened in the race.
Well, nonetheless, a good race for you here tonight, Dominic. We've seen you in a few races here this season. Next week, we have another tricky one, the Simbox Southern 170 at Darlington. Always a fun one. We see drivers bringing out throwback schemes and all that stuff. Will we see you next week at Darlington?
Yeah, you definitely will, for sure.
Well, that is great to hear. Hoping to take your kind of egg-shaped talent here tonight at this egg-shaped track to another egg-shaped track next week. Going to be a good one. But before we let you go, Dominic, anyone you want to give a shout-out to?
Yeah, man. Tesoro Motorsports. Julian was insanely fast tonight, but just had a hiccup, I guess. But yeah, man, that truck was flying. Definitely looking forward to to seeing him go next week. See what he can do with that. So yeah, Tesoro Motorsports, Status Racing Seats by PRP, Ryan from RD Designs, just basically the whole crew.
Well, a really good run for the number 69 machine. Looking forward to seeing what you can do next week at Darlington, and go enjoy your third place finish.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it with tonight's third place finisher. Time to talk to tonight's runner-up, driver of the number 99 machine, Philip Scott. Garrett, I think you've caught up with him.
Philip Scott, number 1-2 finish for Total Nonstop Racing. Looked like you had a pretty fun race out there. We did see you slow on a restart. Did you happen to miss the shift out there? That's where I want to start with our interview.
Yeah, I think there was one of the restarts I kind of goofed up, or I forget which one. This was such a long race, but I think one of the ones when I was like in the lead, I kind of goofed up and brought everyone. Oh, I don't think my thing was pushed. It was an absolutely crazy race. It was just I tried everything I could to get by Tristan there, and he earned that thing. That was a lot of fun. It's always fun battling with him. The first race we ever had together, we were banging doors, like, come to the line at Eldora. That was our first race together, like, 2 years ago. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It was a fun battle watching you, and actually when you stopped talking there, I thought maybe you fell asleep because it was such a long race, but you guys did put a tremendous show on, and just maybe I missed this part of your interview when your mic cut out, but what was the difference, you think, between Tristan winning this race and you finishing in second place with your number 99? Where was he better than you out there?
Honestly, I think 3 and 4 he had a bit of an advantage. So all the ground I could gain was 1 and 2, and that was just by running my 1 and 2 reminds me of like an inverse of Peter Remote. I'm talking about the hairpin at Nürburgring GP. That 1 and 2 remind me of that a lot, and so I run the line exactly how I'd run it at the Nürburgring, and that was giving me good runs off. Not necessarily momentum, but good traction off. And when the traction wore off and I couldn't get by Tristan, then there was no chance of getting around him going high because he was there. So you can definitely, it's funny, you'd think you wouldn't feel dirty air here, but it's actually pretty prevalent.
Well, that's something for me to keep in mind next time I'm here, so maybe I can actually pass a vehicle on the racetrack. But heading to Darlington next week, I know that's a place that suits your driving style, at least from my perspective, a place you're going to be fast at, and I think you'll have a chance to win. But more importantly, what type of throwback scheme are you going to create for next week? That's what I'm looking forward to.
You know, I haven't thought about it. I think, obviously, Carl Edwards is a good one I did last season in TNR. But I'll have to think about it. Maybe Eric Darnell or something.
Boy, that would be interesting, and you might have to explain that to people, especially Peter up here in the booth. He's a little rusty, but great run, second place. It was. I'm sure, like you said, you had fun battling with your teammate. And then before you go, any sponsors or friends or you'd like to shout out? The floor is yours, bud.
NationalNinja.com. That's all.
Oh, that's all. Don't thank the guys in the booth and put 2 hours in to make you look good. That's all right, Philip. We'll try better next week. Let's get to Tristan Meyer. You're dead to me. Goodbye.
Okay. Understandable. Have a nice day.
Good night, bud. I believe Peter Short has made his way into victory lane, and it's becoming old news at this point. Tristan Maher taking home another checkered flag and a trophy, and Peter, take it away.
Yeah, I'm down here in victory lane with the first 3-time winner this season, driver of the number 17 machine. Great run here tonight, Tristan, padding to your points lead as well with the win, and 3 out of the last 4. How impressive is that, and how was that truck driving out front? And talk us through that battle with the 99 of Philip Scott.
Yeah, Peter, 3 out of the last 4 races, I haven't really been paying attention to that, but I don't know what's been going on. The team has just been clicking. The tracks, I've been liking the tracks we go to, that kind of stuff. The truck out front was definitely better than behind somebody. Dirty air at this track is actually pretty bad. So once you're out front, as long as you are consistent and you hit your marks, you don't even necessarily have to be the absolute fastest guy on the track. It's just really hard for the person behind you to pass. And then as far as the battle with Philip goes, I think Philip was faster than me, at least on fresh tires. He had really good short run pace, but I think it kind of equaled out, like leveled out as far as pace goes. And then, obviously since the last restart, I had the advantage of clean air, so he was also dealing with that, and that makes you work your tires more, being in someone else's dirty air. So everything just kind of fell in the right place for me, and me and Philip are teammates, and we've raced together for a long time, and our that's kind of how we became friends, is by close racing and battling and stuff. So I had a blast racing Philip. I knew he was faster than me. I was just trying to kind of take his line away and do a little bit of mirror driving.
Well, you did a good job of it, and you won a couple of weeks ago, Iowa short track, then got that win at Knock Hill on the road course, and this one a very tricky oval. We got another really tricky oval next week at Darlington, and we want to hear what your throwback might be. Hopefully you have a throwback on the number 17. Go hit up Chris Darling if you haven't already. But another tricky track next week at Darlington. What are your thoughts about going there?
Darlington's a fun track. I really enjoy Darlington, and I generally have some pace there. I think the key to winning there, or the key to even finishing good, is just staying clean, being consistent. Like I say, you don't have to be like the fastest guy, but if you're hitting your marks and you're not clobbering down the wall every corner, you're bound to finish well.
Yeah, if you can avoid that Darlington stripe as much as you can, that will definitely be good. But Tristan, congratulations again on your win here tonight. Let's hear those shout-outs.
Yeah, first things first, we got to shout out this Eclipse Photography Ford F-150. And then we got NSRA, fantastic league. If you guys are interested, look them up on Facebook, Discord, get in on some of the action. And then we got Beer Street Journal, Stay Tuned Sports, and then you guys up in the booth, obviously, and then Chris Darling for the paint job on the F-150.
Absolutely. Well, Tristan, excited to see you next week at Darlington, and go enjoy your win here tonight at Worldwide Technology Raceway Park.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
All right, that's going to do it with our post-race interviews here tonight. Let's see if we can dial up the final race results for everyone back at home, because it definitely was an interesting night, all things considered. Taking home the win, number 17 of Tristan Maher, Philip Scott finishing in second. Dominic Tesoro, good run for the number 69, finishing in third. Tyler Bellinger in fourth, good run from him as well. Nathan Maurer, fifth. Adam Newton in sixth in the number 29 machine. David Buell in seventh. Had another quiet night. David Buell probably has the most quiet night that out of all the drivers here in the National Sim Racing Association, but a good run nonetheless inside the top 10. Good recovery for Vincent Valvano, was almost 2 laps down to finish in 8th. Stan Hausman coming home in 9th, 1 lap down. Garrett Austin 1 lap down, but rounds out our top 10. Julian Tesoro 11th, Jeff Price in 12th, Randy Perdue 13th, Jimbo gonna come home in 14th of Stay Tuned Sports fame. Travis White finishing in 15th, Matt Cherry in 16th, Adam Lichty 17th, and Doug Milliner 18th, rounding out our field here tonight. Like I said, next week we go to the Darlington Raceway. It's going to be a lot of fun here in the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast truck series. Going to be interesting to see who is going to pick up our biggest mover of the race award, because we didn't go over that here tonight. The Simbox biggest mover of the race award is going to go to Dominic Tesoro, finishing plus 9 positions on his run to a third position. So congratulations Dominic for picking up the Stay Tuned Sports, the biggest, not Stay Tuned Sports, the Simbox, biggest mover of the Race Award. I swear, folks, I must be tired or something. It just hasn't been my night. But we want to give a shout out to the other series sponsors here in the National Sim Racing Association. Of course, Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. Go check out their Podbean in the description. Also, go check out BeerStreetJournal.com, one of our series sponsors, Taz Racing Customs as well, Facebook.com/Taz Racing Customs, Brookstone Animal Hospital, Simbox, JNR Craftworks, and more, as well as Eclipse Photography. Make sure you check them out. Really, really good. So everyone, Garrett, any final thoughts?
No, just a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me. I hope everyone enjoyed the race as much as I did, and I hope I could work with you again real soon, pal. Looking forward to Darlington, and if I'm not in the booth with you, I'll be on track giving it hell. So appreciate everyone. Stay safe.
All right, everyone, that is going to do it here tonight for us here on 3 Wide TV. Until we meet again, like Garrett said, stay safe and all that good stuff, and we shall see ya!